Alright, everybody. Let's see what this little puss boy Patrick gotta say. What it's called? Mehdi Hasan is debating him. Let's see it. Is it good? Is it bullshit? Anything fucking Patrick says is bullshit, but let's see it.
We have a special guest in the house, one of the biggest MAGA spokesperson out there in the world, hardcore MAGA. Now a capitalist. He runs a very successful business now after leaving MSNBC. He's crushing it. But it's great to have you on the podcast today, Mehdi Hasan.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. And, you know, obviously I've been watching you for many years, and we
Damn, bro. It's going so bad for Patrick. He needs to get the opposition to even make some content. Fuck. I hate Patrick Davidson. He's a fucking traitor to his people.
reached out. We said, let's invite him on board. And then Rob said, Mehdi said yes. I said, this is great.
It took a long time to get to yes, but I'm here.
Yes. So what took such a long time?
I don't know.
What were you worried about? Were you
I don't know. We'll find out today.
Capitalist? Is it like this
No.
guy's going to be...
I don't know. I've seen your show. It's an entertaining show. I know it's a very different format today. I don't know. I'm intrigued as to what we're going to talk about today.
And I'm genuinely interested in learning your story.
Okay.
So tell me your story, your background.
My background is, if the accent didn't give it away, I'm a British American. I'm a dual national, British American citizen, citizen of both great countries, born and raised in the UK. My parents...
The fuck is this guy talking about? He's a British American. Listen, I hate this fucking shit. He's not fucking British, brah. Fucking say where the fuck you from. Stop this. I'm American British. Nah, brah. Fuck American British.
Immigrants from India, moved to the UK in the 60s.
You're a fucking Indian. Say you're a fucking Indian. You're not fucking American. You're not British. The fuck?
Part of India.
South India, Hyderabad.
Okay.
Best biryani in the world.
Best beer?
Biryani.
Biryani.
Yeah.
That's the best beer.
I'm not going to be the guy who gives you beer
Best beer.
recommendations.
Okay, got it.
So
I went to Mumbai 8 years ago, and I spoke at IIT Institute.
Oh, yeah, it's big.
Incredible experience.
Place.
Yeah.
But Hyderabad has better food. So I have to say that as a Hyderabadi. So my parents moved in the 60s and 70s to the UK. I was born in 79. I think we're similar in age. And I moved to the US 12 years ago, come February. So it's been over a decade I've been here. Became a citizen in 2020, been a journalist all my life.
What do you prefer, UK or? And I know this.
Oh, this is a controversial question.
Just ask me. I don't want to upset mom, so you don't have to answer
family,
it if you don't want to.
Honestly, none of them. Honestly, America is shit. Britain is shit. Honestly, it's two shit countries. And anybody who's saying different are lying, bro.
They both have their brilliance. I go back to the UK all the time. I'm heading out there next week. I get to go for work and pleasure, and I love going back to the UK. But the US, I got to say, the US has given me opportunities and open doors that even the UK I don't think could have done.
Really?
And I think you hear that from a lot of black and brown folks from the UK. Because I'm someone who's criticized racism, obviously, in the UK and in the US. But what's interesting is you talk to people in the media space, entertainment space. You look at someone like Idris Elba.
I don't, this guy, what he's talking about is bullshit.
You look at someone like my good friend, my old school friend.
Only in America can you be a fucking idiot and have fucking views. Like in Europe, bruh, nobody's listening to you if you're not educated. But in America, anybody has a voice. Idiots have voices. Only idiots have voices in America.
And Riz Ahmed, Oscar-winning, Emmy-winning actor. They've all talked about how when they came to the US, they got more opportunities than they got in the UK.
Why do you think that is? Is it just capitalism? Is it just business? Is it incentives?
I think there's also, the country is a bigger country. I think we can sometimes forget when we live here how this is a continent of a country.
Yep.
So just geographically, space-wise, there's more places to just do things. The UK is very...
That's not true. It's because America is built on lobby groups. What the fuck is this guy talking about? It's built on lobby groups. It's built on spokespersons. That's why. Europe is not the same. It doesn't work like that. You can't just... Nobody's gonna listen to you just because somebody paid you to stand there and fucking yap. It's not the same.
Very heavily concentrated around London, right? The entire country, to the great consternation of people in Manchester, Birmingham, the entire economy is centered around one city. Politics is centered around Westminster in London. And I think there's also, in England, we don't...
Politics is centralized in fucking Washington. What is this fucking guy talking about?
don't have the legacy of, plantation slavery and the black struggle for civil rights in the US, but we do have a different kind of legacy of empire and that form of, history to overcome.
Yeah, we just... all the red coats, genocide, chattel slavery. But let's not forget who started all of that slave trade and the ships and Listen, Britain is nothing better than America. It's the same shit. The only reason why Britain got destroyed and the empire got destroyed because America wanted the power.
I don't know what the right word I'm looking for, like staid, stodgy. It's just a kind of an old way of doing things. You hit a different kind of glass ceiling in the UK. I'm not giving a pass to the old kinds of racism and bigotry there still is in the US that we're still fighting with. But there is something about being a person of color and just having a little bit more ambition in the US. It's going to get me in huge trouble
Look at
with
the two of
people.
us.
I'm screwed now when I go back to the UK next week if this airs before.
Both of us are brown and winning in America, which is a good thing.
Yes, from different parts of the political
That's right.
divide, I think
that's
fair
right.
to say.
By the way, in high school, if I was in high school with you, you're 15, 16, who's Mehdi Hasan?
What the fuck is this guy talking about the winning? Nah, bro, you ain't winning. The fucking old class with the money has the power. All you guys are nothing else but entertainment for people with old money. Nothing else. Fucking stop lying to yourself. Oh, we are winning in America. Nah, bro, you're fucking clowns doing the dirty work nobody else wanna do. That's fact.
What were you doing?
I was the same person I am now. I was a debater. I was an arguer. I was the guy with the big mouth. I was the guy getting thrown into the hallway. I was the guy going to detention because I answered back. I talked a lot.
Teachers, students, professors, didn't matter.
I found report cards recently that my children and I sat and went through. It was really embarrassing. My daughter sat with me. We went through the report cards. Every single one is, he doesn't stop talking. He answers back. He thinks he knows everything. He won't stop asking questions.
Is that a family thing or is that a youth thing?
It's a family thing, for sure.
Got it.
Yeah, I wrote about it in the book. My father passed away last year.
Sorry.
He was thank you. He was a very disputatious individual. Loved to debate, loved to argue, super provocative. Even in the Muslim community, the story I tell. Remember in the late 80s, you'll remember this because you're of Iranian heritage, Ayatollah Khomeini gives the fatwa against Salman Rushdie for satanic verses.
Yes.
Muslims in the UK are furious, especially in the UK. More than
by the way, he helped him sell millions of copies by doing
Indeed,
it. Yeah.
indeed. So listen to this. So in Bradford, big Muslim city in the UK, they even burned copies of the satanic verses. Got it, huge issue we can talk about another time. But anyways, huge issue in the UK. My dad goes out and buys a copy of the satanic verses, reads
As a Muslim?
and puts it on our dining room bookshelf right next to the table. So every time our friends, family come over for dinner, it's there. And people are saying to my dad, what the hell are you doing here? Why do you have satanic verses on your bookshelf? And my dad said, have you read it? And I said, no. I said, well, how do you know what to object to about it? And I think that attitude of his, which was quite provocative at the time, and even till his death, he was known as a provocative individual. I think I borrowed a lot of that. The ability to be able to ask questions, be offensive if need be provocative if need be, don't give a shit what people think. If you need to ask the right questions, you need to say what you want to say. That very much comes.
Listen, never give a shit about what people think. Honestly, go ahead and fucking insult people. Why the fuck wouldn't you? When fucking people have genocidal fucking viewpoints, tell them they're genocidal dogs and they can suck a D. Nothing else. Why the fuck would you even argue with them? Just tell them what they are, spit in their face, and just walk away.
From my father, from my household growing up. My sister is also a journalist. We very similar in that sense.
Was he a journalist or no?
No, he wasn't, but he was very political. He was a very traditional, he was a civil engineer. My mother's a doctor. They're very classic Asian, Desi, Indian couple. But he was very political from the moment he moved to the UK. He loved British politics. Till he passed away, he was asking me questions about Trump. What's he doing? Is he going to survive? Like in 2024, all he asked me was, like, why are they running Biden? Why are they running Biden?
At what age?
This was at 80, he passed away last year at 87. So this would have been at 86.
Good for him.
So he was super.
Was he sharp to the very end?
No, unfortunately. He wasn't sharp at the end. But even when he wasn't sharp at the end, he was still very political. Well, just want to talk about politics whenever I call.
Never had a desire to run and do anything? Just opinion?
No, just loved it. There's a certain generation of Indian immigrant men who have a lot of opinions.
Well, the opinion part, I agree. Like
but he also read broadly, read widely. He could quote Shakespeare.
Who influenced him? What influeed his politics?
His uncle growing up. My dad grew up as an orphan. His father died when he was 2. He was raised by his uncle mainly, who was a kind of polymath, and I think he absorbed a lot of that. So my father was someone who could quote Shakespeare, but he could also quote Allama Iqbal, the famous Urdu poet. Like he could switch between different cultures, different intellectual references. So it put a lot of pressure on me and my sister.
But was he a devout liberal himself? Like, would you consider him would he today be a progressive himself or no?
I think he very much would see himself as a liberal.
Okay.
My parents are very different. I think my mother is more conservative, more practicing. My father was more intellectually engaged with the
Like
religion.
a literal conservative? Like conservative?
What's your definition?
Like she's pro-Trump?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
she's sensible. She's a sensible.
She's sensible.
I meant conservative, like socially conservative, Islam, making sure that when we were kids, she was the one who made sure we prayed and we fasted, we read Quran and all of that stuff. My father was the person who made sure that we were asking questions about the world. And yes, the culture very much, the language, the culture, all of that stuff.
Got it. So did they know you're going to get into journalism?
No.
How did that happen? Like, when was it, Dad? This is what I'm going to do.
So I went to university in the late 90s. I went to Oxford. I did politics, philosophy, economics, which is this degree.
Math is economics. Yeah, I saw economics.
PPE.
Right.
It's a famous degree in the UK that politicians love to do. Prime ministers love to. David Cameron did PPE. Like it's called the degree of prime ministers. Like it's famous. I did that degree and I didn't like the economics. I was struggled with the philosophy, even though I enjoyed it. And I loved the politics. I didn't know what to do. Most of my friends left university and went into finance, investment banking, management consulting. I knew I didn't want to do that. So that left me with a kind of, well, what do I do now? And I kind of fell into journalism. People ask me at events now, young people, like, what's your story? How do I become a journalist? I wish I had like a Marvel origin story. I don't. It's not like I dreamt of being a journalist. It's just, I didn't know what else to do. I have a big mouth. I'll try this.
You would have been great in sales. You would have been great in finance. You would have done
Not
very well.
finance. I can't deal with numbers.
Well, you're saying you did, PB, you're saying the guys that
That's why the
went into
economics bit
politics.
I enjoy. I did enjoy the math part of economics.
But at that time, you have no aspirations for politics.
No, it came later. There was a period where I was very aspirational. I thought about
To
running.
run?
Yeah, to run as a member of parliament, be a politician. And then I realized it's not for me. When you cover it as a journalist, you're like, this
What do you
world?
mean it's not for you?
To run for office?
You? You ever watch Mamdani? You're like, dude, I could do that better. Mamdani's, I know I could do what
No,
Mamdani's.
because I'll tell you why. Mamdani has a electric smile. I know Zoran well. I've met him a few times. He actually spoke at our anniversary party recently, and I had to speak after him. And I'm kind of arrogant. I think of myself as a good speaker. I got nervous that day. I have to speak after Zoran Mamdani.
Wow.
What the hell? What am I doing here
Did
speaking
you
after
feel the
Mamdani?
energy that he had?
He was Muhammad Ali. I'm looking straight there at Ali right there.
Yep.
He is the Muhammad Ali of politics right now. Just the energy in the room. People going crazy. His every move, hanging off his every word. He's got that. If he was American born, he would be one of the top runners and riders for 2028. Easy.
Let me just say it, and everybody know it. Mamdani, he put every fucking politician to shame in the West. Honestly, a fucking migrant Muslim, he fucking took care of New York when all the Christians could not. And honestly, you fucking Christians, you should be ashamed, bruh. You're fucking just... Honestly, bro, I don't even want to say it, bro, but honestly, it's disgusting how you are treating your own people. Talk all of this shit, Christian this, Christian that, but bro, why the fuck haven't you taken care of your country then? Oh, bullshit, a Muslim migrant gotta come in and fucking take care of this shit. That's just funny, bro, how stupid Americans are, bro.
Easily.
Super capable.
But here's the difference between me and Zoran Mamdani. There are many differences. The big one is he has this charming electric smile. He is he's the guy who kisses babies at events. He wins people over. I have what's called RAMF. I have resting angry Muslim face. So when I'm talking to people, when I'm listening, I look mad, right? People have told me this over the years. Producers have told me in my ear, you look
Smile.
angry, smile. Not in a misogynistic way, like said to women, you should smile. But people tell me, smile.
Yeah.
So for me, running for office, I look angry all the time.
Yeah.
You can't win like that. You
Yeah.
need to smiling.
I'll
You're
have-
brown, you need to be smiling.
Kelly or Mickey or people, family that are taking pictures. Patrick, can you smile, please? I'm smiling. You're not smiling. So maybe it's a Middle Eastern thing. I don't know.
But I think for brown and black people, sorry to come back to racism again, I do think there's that extra pressure to show you're not an angry
Smiling.
black man, angry brown man.
Yeah.
Obama was always seen as beloved because he was like, oh, you can imagine your daughter marrying him when he comes in the room. There was always that kind of sensibility around Barack
So
Obama.
you think that's the part with Mamdani? He's got a little bit of that Obama-esque thing going for himself.
For sure. I mean, he won over your guy.
Yeah. You talking about Cuomo or you talking about Sliwa?
I'm talking about Donald Trump.
Oh,
He won him over. He went to the White. You saw him in the White.
Tell me you don't love the fact that you're saying my guy. That my guy said, just tell him how you feel. Tell me
Yeah,
you don't respect that.
that was an amazing
Tell
move.
me you don't respect that.
I respect Mamdani for pulling it off.
But do you respect that Trump's like, just tell him
I
you
don't
don't like me?
respect it. I don't
Stop.
understand
You
it.
can't say
I
that.
swear to God, I don't
Dude, you
understand
know you respect the fact that...
I've studied Donald Trump, unfortunately, through no choice of my own, for 12 years. I moved here months before he
You
came down
can
that golden
say it. You
escalator.
respected that
I do
man.
not respect Donald Trump. But I watched that clip, and I genuinely...
Why the fuck would anybody respect Donald Trump, bruh? He's bankrupted all his companies. The fucking American people had to fucking bail him out. Listen, when somebody goes down under with a company, people gotta get paid. Somebody gotta pay for this shit that he didn't pay. So, nah, bruh. Fuck Trump. Trump is a fucking weirdo, P-file, honestly, generational P-file. That is what Trump and his family is. Because his grandfather, he ran a brothel with minors, and this is documented. Is it his grandfather, his grandfather, the gold rush, his father after? Don't get me fucking started. Everybody fucking know this. Only Americans are fucking stupid idiots.
I'm someone who, you could ask me about Trump, I could talk about Trump all day long.
Yeah.
I know everything about Trump. That moment still is, he looks at Mamdani the way I've never seen him look at anyone. I've never seen him look at Melania the way he looks at Zoran Mamdani. Right? In love, just in awe.
Honestly, it's true. Honestly, Trump, he would blow Mamdani every day, and you can see it. Honestly, if he could, he would trade fucking Barron for Mamdani. Any day, every day.
He goes on Sid Rosenberg's radio show.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Sid Rosenberg, he's a jihadist. Mr. President, he hates you. Nah, he's a good guy. He's at the
And that
State of the
still
Union.
doesn't get you to say you
I don't
respect
understand
Trump.
why. But can you tell me why?
Yeah, I think he respects talent. Honestly,
like game recognizes game.
No, it's, look, you're here. I like your talent. And I watch and I see what you do.
Yeah.
Listen, we may not agree on, 50%
He's not like
of
that
things,
with most other people.
but no, he is. He respects
Yeah. Mamdani, if he whipped out his cock, man, Trump, he would be sucking that shit so hard. Bruh, even the fucking journalist would be like, and the cameraman would be like, what the fuck is happening? Is this the fucking OnlyFans video? Yeah, bruh. Trump, he's impressed, bruh. You see that face? That's a dick-sucking face. And this face, this is a dominant face. This face is like, bitch, if I was born here, I would sit in your place, bitch.
It's talent, and he's got it.
Fawning over people? Trump doesn't fawn over
To
people.
bring the guy
Putin maybe.
over. He's done it with a few different people.
Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, Zoran Mamdani. Those are my
What does that say about your Mamdani? You got to be careful with that.
That's why I don't
You just put him in a bad place.
That's why I don't understand.
Be careful what you're doing.
That's why I don't understand. I genuinely
Mehdi Hasan compares Mamdani to Putin and Kim Jong-un. Don't do that. Why
out of context. This is why no one likes right-wing media. Out of context.
Just say you like the fact that they got along with
I do like the fact they got along.
I do as well.
Because Zoran Mamdani went, in his second time he went to New York. He's so smart. He knows how, Trump is very easily won over. He takes a front page of a newspaper, right? He takes a fake newspaper front page.
Yep.
Why is people not
That was the most hilarious shit ever.
thought of this before? With Trump saving New York, gives it to Trump, and then he goes, can you free this Palestinian student who ICE just picked up? By that afternoon, Trump has freed that student. Right? That is a mayor who knows how to get results and win over Trump without giving up his own self-respect, without like fawning over him like I think Wes Moore was in one clip where they used it against him where he was very, very friendly.
Will you give any credit for the fact that by the afternoon, the most powerful man in the world gave him what he asked for?
No.
You won't.
I'll tell you why. Can I tell you
When
why?
is your birthday? Let me.
Why the fuck would he give him any? Listen, Trump, he got outsmarted by a guy who's 50 years younger than him. He got fucking outsmarted by a fucking fake newspaper he fucking just made up. Why the fuck would he respect that? It's just, bruh, Patrick David, you're a fucking dick sucker, bruh.
Where's the July 1079? You are this stubborn?
Why, you've done your homework. I'll tell you why I don't respect it. Because I'm glad Zoran Mamdani did it. But what does it say about our leader, the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief, the self-proclaimed leader of the free world, that it's so easy to play this guy? World leaders have been doing it for years. This is the problem with him. It's so easy to manipulate him. He's so easy to be won over. And I'm glad when my guy's doing it for a good cause, but people do it for bad causes too. I'm sure we're going to talk about Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu did it to get him into a war of Iran. That's my problem. When Trump first went to Saudi Arabia after he got elected in 2017, there was a story about how when he drove from the airport to the embassy or hotel, wherever he was staying, the Saudis, this is in 2017, remember his first trip as president was to Saudi Arabia. The Saudis put up on billboards his tweets. Can you imagine that? How smart that is? That Trump is driving along and he's seeing his own quotes. Like, these people know how to play him. They know how to suck up to him. Kim Jong-un.
His good quotes or his bad quotes?
Like good. They're praising him, right?
All right.
Every foreign leader knows how you can suck up to Donald Trump. You praise him, and now in the second term, you give him money. You can now bribe the president of the United States.
So do you think there's an element?
Yep, you can do that. You can go to his children and give them money to influence him. Everybody know you can give his children, his grown children, money, and you will have influence and pretty much get what you want. Everybody know this. You gotta be a fucking American not to know this or something.
You've never been in sales before, but you're a businessman now, right?
Yeah, I'm selling. I have to.
You're now sales.
Do that stuff. Yeah,
and that's
subscribe to the tape.
Join to Capitalist.
Subscribe
which I'm
to
so
Tape.
happy.
All the cameras. DETO.
By the way, respectfully, you leave mainstream. You're at MSNBC. I think you're the number one guy for them with the eyeballs you guys are getting. I don't know
young
what it was.
people online for sure.
Yeah, for young people online, you're number one. So, and then I don't know what the story is. What happened there? We've read a lot of different stories. They were giving you another job. You chose to leave. You do independent, and then independently. You have what, $3.5 million in reoccurring revenue 12 months later. Yeah. 12 months later. That's amazing to be able to do that. And then today being a business guy, so it's great to have.
And I've never run anything in my life, so I was very worried.
So maybe that PPE degree you got in economics, that capitalist was inside of you, and we brought it out. So that's great.
Okay.
Welcome to the Club of Capitalists. It's great to have you with us.
I'm a socialist/capitalist.
That's the most retarded fucking sentence ever. Honestly, Patrick Davis, he's a fucking idiot, bro. You're a fucking moron, bro.
A multi-millionaire socialist, which is great.
Nothing wrong with that. Bernie's a millionaire.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But let's go to the part about you brought up Trump and Bibi. So Axios brings out the story. At this point, you've seen it. So Rob, if you want to go down so I can read the whole thing, you're effing crazy. Trump fumes at Netanyahu in call on Lebanon. Go a little bit lower, Rob, so I can read the whole thing. So President Trump lashed out at Israel over Israel escalation in Lebanon in an expletive Latin call on Monday. Two U.S. officials and a third source briefed on the call told Axios why it matters. Early on Monday, Iran threatened to abandon negotiations with the U.S. over Israel, saying actions in Lebanon. On the call, Trump called Netanyahu crazy and accused him of ingratitude. According to two of the sources, he also put the brakes on Israel's plan to strike Beirut. Behind the scenes, one U.S. official told Bibi that following through on his threat to bomb Lebanese capital would further isolate Israel from around the world. Two of the sources said Trump claimed he'd help keep Netanyahu at a jail. He said, if it wasn't for me, you'd be in jail. right there. You're effing crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates Israel because of this. Do you think this call happened?
The call definitely happened, but both sides are spinning it in their own ways, and they've
It would be funny, honestly. Whoever heard that conversation, they would honestly, bro. I hope they laughed their asses off, bro. I would be sitting there with popcorns, bro. I would be laughing. I would be recording that shit, sending that shit over to my friends, bro. If that conversation happened like that, hilarious.
spinning it with the classic people. So just background on this. This is an Axios piece. The author of this piece is Barak Ravid, who's an award-winning journalist, won a coverage, co-authored by Mark Caputo, former colleague of mine at NBC News. But Barak Ravid is famous, or should I say now infamous in media circles, for being the guy who the White House always goes to leak stuff about conversations with Israel.
Is this the guy that leaked it, that Bibi got up, that Biden got upset?
Yes, same.
This is the same
So
guy.
he did both.
Okay,
He's bipartisan. Whether you're Joe Biden,
fair guy.
well, it's not about being fair. It's the point is that whoever's in the White House, they know that this is the guy who does the stories about split between Israel and America. So we've had about a dozen, 2 dozen of these stories over the last 3 years.
Is this the guy you trust?
Unfortunately, no. Now it's not that I don't trust him. I'm not saying he's making stuff up, but I'm saying he's clearly become a useful vessel for information from the White House that they want to get out. They know, if you're Joe Biden or you're Donald Trump, you know that if you want to get out that you're pissed at Netanyahu, Barak Ravid is the guy you go to. Now, on the other side, you have Amit Segal, who is one of Israel's most famous journalists, very close to Benjamin Netanyahu. Channel 12, I think, is his network. This guy is now reporting today, the day we're talking, that actually the Israeli side is saying, no, Trump never swore at Netanyahu, never mentioned jail or prison, and they disagreed about how to handle Hezbollah in Lebanon. So the question then becomes, for those of us who were not in the room, who do you believe? Serial liar Donald Trump or serial liar Benjamin Netanyahu? Journalists who act as vessels for leaders on both sides? It's very hard. This is why people have a real issue with mainstream media right now. Because what do you do in a situation like this where both sides are spinning furiously? And I can believe either version. I can believe that Trump told him you're fucking
Problem. People have a problem with mainstream media because they're not informing people. They are taking viewpoints from lobby groups and intelligence services and politicians and not informing people correct. That's why people are mad. Nothing else. People have the right to be informed. And what the mainstream media is doing is they're doing national trader work. And for that, they should be counted as terrorists and go to jail. In any other fucking normal society that wasn't corrupt or influenced, they would be going to jail because what they're doing is terroristic acts.
crazy. We wouldn't put that past Donald Trump. I can also believe that they lied to make Trump sound stronger than he is, and Netanyahu's telling the truth. I don't know.
Okay, so how do they typically get the credibility? Because anybody can say this was said. So can you go back to the article when it says 2 sources were there? What is the, you're in this world?
Yes.
Is there a system or a standard to be able to, because this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal too. I mean, look, all the traditional rules of political journalism went out the window when Donald Trump came along, right? So, my colleague Swin Subsang reports on the White House for Zateo. He has very good context. And, he tells me some of the crazy stories he gets from behind the scenes in terms of people trying to screw each other over, right? In the Trump administration, there's a very unique dynamic. And, he's referred to it as a reservoir dogs dynamic. It's been referred to, where everyone's got a gun to each other's head at the same time, right? So they're all trying to screw each other over. So that's another issue. Are 2 of the sources people who are allied with each other? Are they from different wings of the White House? Pat, with this Iran war, there are different elements in this administration. Some people want the war done, finished. Some people want it to keep going. So there's different pressures on
This
Trump.
is not 100%, 80% story.
So there's different people leaking for different agendas to try and end a war or escalate a war.
Give me how this makes Trump look good. How does it make it look bad? Who's winning with the story? Who's not?
So
optics, purely
Trump,
optics.
you know the MAGA base better than me. Many of them are your viewers. Many people in the MAGA base, not as many as people suggest. My good friend Cenk Uygur, I know you've had on the show. He thinks there's a big split in MAGA. I'm less of that view. I look at the polls. 80% of MAGA still loves Trump. 70% love this war. But there is a growing minority who don't like what's going on with the foreign wars, with the betrayal of anti-war promises. And a lot of them see Donald Trump as being, I can't come up with a better phrase than Netanyahu's bitch. And this would help Donald Trump.
No. Stop saying this, Donald Trump. No, America. And
Say, look.
Complete West is Israel's bitch and nothing else. A fucking milking cow. Nothing else. They are milking cows, goy fucking soldiers, goy slaves, nothing else. That's what they are. Fucking slaves who don't have any brain.
I'm telling Benjamin Netanyahu, fuck you, you're fucking crazy, I saved you from prison. I'm the dominant partner in this relationship. And by the way, this is not just a Trump issue. Every American president who's dealt with Netanyahu has come out getting screwed over. Joe Biden got completely screwed over. He gave his entire presidency to save Netanyahu. Look at him today, destroyed. Bill Clinton in the 90s came out of a conversation with Netanyahu. You know what he said to his team? He said, who's the fucking superpower here? He was so pissed that he got talked down to by Benjamin Netanyahu. So American presidents have been dealing with Bibi for many years, and they've always tried to assert their dominance, and many of them have failed to do so. So I think for Donald Trump, it's good if people believe it. The problem is, those of us who know the Axios reporting on this, we're very, very skeptical.
So let me
I've
ask
seen
you
this
this.
film before.
If you're Trump's advisor, which you're not, but let's just say if you were Trump's advisor, and Trump hears you, and he says, screw this guy. That call did happen. That's exactly what I told him. What does he need to do publicly for even a guy like you to say, shit, this happened?
That's a great question, because Donald Trump's word means nothing to me. I've been documenting his lies for many years. No one's told more lies than Donald Trump in the public sphere. So actions matter more than words. Same issue with Biden. His people would leak, Biden's very upset with Netanyahu. Okay, but what the fuck are you doing about it? Right? Many of us frustrated with the genocide would say. Same question now. What are you going to do about it? Donald Trump has given Netanyahu everything he wanted. Right? Even if this conversation is true, he's saying, I saved you from prison, in the sense that he demanded the Israeli president.
Did he? Don't you think he did, though?
In many ways he did, because every time this war continues, Netanyahu avoids trial, right? Every time there's escalation in the war, he doesn't have to go back to court.
That's right.
And Trump has publicly called on Herzog, the president, to pardon him, which he hasn't done yet, but I'm sure he's feeling the pressure from Trump publicly calling him out. So he has helped Netanyahu. But worse than that, you look at what's happening in Gaza. He's given Netanyahu everything he wanted. And this really bothers me, because in 2024, I spent a lot of time pointing out to people on my side, leftists, Muslims, Arab Americans, people in Dearborn, Michigan, who welcomed Trump. And I said to them, you're going to get screwed over by this guy. No. He's more anti-war than Kamala and Joe. This is what I was told by Arab Americans who voted for Trump. He will be the anti-war president. Stephen Miller said he won't send our boys to die. Trump said, remember what he said? He goes, Liz Cheney will go to war with Kamala and kill Muslims. I won't.
Honestly, in this viewpoint, I think Hassan, this guy, he's wrong. Honestly, I don't like Trump. Honestly, I think the only reason why I not voted, but rooted for Trump, because I wanted to see him fuck America up. Honestly, because that would be hilarious. But still, it's not true. If Kamala had the power, listen, America would be at war with Iran right now, with boots on the ground. And that's 1,000,000% sure. The only reason why Trump didn't do it is because he wants to be remembered as a legend. He wants his name to go down in history for being the best leader America had. But 100%, if Kamala had the power, American troops would be with boots all over the Middle East right now. That's 1,000,000% sure. That's 1,000,000% sure. Because the Biden administration, Kamala administration, they're much better at spinning and lying and narratives building, all of that. The only reason why it's America is looked at as totally fucked up right now is because Trump don't give a fuck, bro. He just go out and says things. But 100%, if Kamala had the power, there would be boots on the ground. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
They all believed that shit. Then he bombed, 6 countries last year, 7 countries last year. Now he's in a war with Iran. In Gaza, he had this ceasefire at the beginning that people were very happy about. But since then, he's allowed Netanyahu to do whatever he wants. And earlier this week, Netanyahu went on camera and he said, we now control 60% of Gaza and I'm going to take 70% of Gaza. Even Biden, Harris, Blinken, none of them said that would be possible. Trump has basically given Netanyahu carte blanche to do whatever he wants in the Gaza Strip. So when your answer to your question is, what does he have to do to prove he's holding...
A guy like you.
He has to hold...
It's impossible to win a guy like you.
I will give credit. I'll say it now. On
if
camera.
what?
If he manages to get Netanyahu out of Lebanon and out of Gaza, which he won't. But that's what I would want to see. Because that's what's happened on his watch. On his watch, Netanyahu's taken more territory in both those places.
Right.
Prove
It's not true. Honestly, we still gotta stop lying. It's not true that all this started with Trump. Biden and the administration of Biden started all this shit. And it's not even fair to say Biden. Nah, it's the total American system. It's the system, lobby groups, politicians, generals, CIA. It's all of them. So no, it's not only just Biden. Trump, honestly, he just got into whatever was given to him. He's not handling it correct. We can be in agreement about that, but it's not true that it's Trump, bro. Now, honestly, forget about it. These plans were made a long time before Trump. So it's too foolish. It's too one-sided. It's not analytical enough. If you're honest, it's the total American administration deep state, everything. It's not even fucking Biden or fucking Trump, bro.
Prove to me that you actually care about Middle East peace. Prove to me that you have control over Netanyahu and American weapons, and get him to pull out. Because right now,
And that's the most annoying thing. Prove to me this, you care about this, prove to no, listen. It's the fucking eat or be eaten. It's the world we're living in. Stop fucking being weak. All these fucking Middle Eastern countries, stop being weak, bitches. Fucking go out and do your thing, man. The fuck? The world functions on who is the strongest. Nothing else. It's the jungle law.
greater Israel is happening in front of our eyes. Netanyahu's doing the project that far-right Israelis have always wanted. He's taking Lebanon, southern Lebanon.
saying Egypt,
He's taking
Turkey,
Gaza.
all this stuff
Who knows
next?
what's coming
That's
next?
what you're thinking?
Well, if you embolden the guy, what is the lesson of the last 3 years? It's impunity. You can do whatever the F you want, and America will never stop you.
Okay, do me a favor. Differentiate between what Bibi's vision is and what Israel's vision is.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so for instance, you could have there's a difference between what America's vision is.
Yes.
Be the greatest country in the world versus what AOC's vision would be
Yes.
if she became president versus Trump, right?
So
what do you think is Bibi's vision versus Israel's vision?
That's a great question. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings. We do this thing in the US.
What the fuck is this guy talking about? Honestly, that was just a retarded question. It doesn't matter which fucking politician get voted in because the deep state already is fucking planned out everything, bruh. What is these guys talking about, bro? You got no fucking voice in America.
Especially on the liberal side, where we say, look, we're against the Netanyahu government. We're not against Israel or the Israeli people. The problem is the Israeli people have made it very clear over the last 3 years that they're totally behind all these wars. There's been no real anti-war movement. In Israel, there's no real...
There's a little bit. It's not a big number.
It's tiny. It's tiny. You look at the polling, 80% of Israelis support
20% is what I was gonna
every
say,
military operation blindly. You look at the polling, some of it's horrific. Like 80% of Israelis support removing Palestinians from Israel. From Gaza, and another small majority support ethnically cleansing them from Israel itself, Palestinian citizens of Israel. Israeli society...
What percentage was this one?
So I think it's 80% say they're fine with getting them out of Gaza.
Okay.
Like, forcibly.
Right.
And there's another majority or big plurality of Israeli Jews who say even Palestinians in Israel should ultimately emigrate.
West Bank and some of that.
No, Israel proper, within the Green Line.
Got it. Okay.
1/5 of the population of Israel is Palestinian citizens of Israel. So the polling is horrific. There was a poll done last year.
Honestly, the Muslims are to blame. 100% the Muslims are to blame. Honestly. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you fucking idiots, you don't want to play with the same rules the others are playing with. If they're expelling your people and helping expelling your people, expel their people from your areas. Eye for eye. You wanna expel our people, we expel your people. And then if people stop and act correctly and act human, okay, everybody act human. But as long as they're fucking terrorizing, as long as some people are terrorizing one people, I think the same people should be expelling people from their territories. If it's like that, if nobody fucking cares and there's no fucking civil law, why the fuck would you wait? Why would you wait? All those peace polls are basically just a liability. And if the world is built like this now, with colonialism and expelling people, then everybody should be playing with the same rules. And nobody should be fucking trying to act like they're better if everybody is shit. That's the problem.
By Penn State, I think it was, where almost half of Israelis said that when we capture a town in Gaza, we should treat it like the Bible and Jericho. We should kill all the inhabitants, all the men. Like this kind of crazy. So, okay, all these polls, you take them with a pinch of salt. I get it. But anyone you speak to in Israel who's a serious commentator on Israeli politics will tell you that over the last 5-10 years, Israeli society has moved to the right, to the far right, in a way that American society has not. Donald Trump is polling in the 30s right now. Even at his peak, he got 49.8% of the vote in the last election. He's never had a majority. In Israel, the right-wing parties, the far-right parties are dominant right now. Maybe in the 90s, early 90s, there was a peace camp. There was Oslo, all this stuff. That's gone now. You can argue about why it's
So
gone.
how is that? How is that possible? How is it that in Israel, the guy is being that aggressive and his support is getting higher?
I don't think his personal support is gone. We'll see what happens in these elections. Because,
What the fuck is they talking about? Listen, Patrick, suck a big fucking cock. Honestly, we all know that these people, the Zion Z, are being schooled with this mentality. have literature with this mentality. Since they are born, they are getting brainwashed by this institution that are ruling them. That is why you see a big difference between these and Jews. Because Jews who grew up around the world can see that this is wrong. While these who got brought up in that environment got brainwashed, and they are prepared to do whatever, bruh. Whatever. There's nothing they're not prepared to do. And that's also why the Jews is going out and fighting for the right to distancing themselves from the Z's. You know the Z? Zionists. Real Jews are distancing themselves from Zionists, and everybody can see it. And no, the indoctrination from the Z state on its population has brainwashed them so much that they are prepared to do whatever is needed.
You said 80%. I mean,
the war, right? This is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Don't focus on Netanyahu. It's a very good cop-out. Even Bernie.
Listen, it's the same fucking thing the Serbs are doing. It's the same thing the Croats are doing. It's the same thing you see in Russia and Ukraine, bruh. It's a group who is going out and brainwashing the population, and it's not just something that's happening today. It's not 10 years. No, people have been brought up in generations of lies.
Sanders, who I'm a big fan of, he often says, Netanyahu. A lot of Palestinians say, Bernie, it's not Netanyahu, it's Israel. It's the Israeli political establishment. So if you swap out, I'll give you one example. If you swap out Netanyahu tomorrow with Naftali Bennett, who's an opposition leader, former prime minister, I interviewed him once. Naftali Bennett is also on the right, also likes war, has threatened Turkey, has threatened Lebanon.
Listen, everybody fucking gotta stop fucking lying to themselves. Israel cannot exist as long... It will never be able to exist. The only reason they're able to exist is because they're acting like they're acting. Any other way, it's not able, bruh. If all the Palestinians get the voting rights and get the rights to come back to their country, they're the majority. That's why they are doing this, the Jews, because they know if everybody gets the right, there will be no fucking Israel, bruh. Fuck, bro.
Got another opposition leader, Avigdor Lieberman, former defense minister. You know what he said this week?
I just don't get how people are so dumb, bro. Is it because I'm smoking? I'm smarter? Is this like the fucking vegetables, like in the fucking cartoon Popeye?
That flattened the suburbs of Beirut. We should be going in and don't listen to Trump. So the opposition in Israel are equally hawkish, right-wing. So this idea that it's all about Netanyahu, it's a myth, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, so you're saying the two are the same, is what you're saying.
On issues of war and peace, yes.
It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. There's no fucking good Israeli politician. It's not existent. It cannot even... They cannot exist by default. If you guys fucking go and analyze it, it cannot exist. It is impossible to exist. The first Israeli who goes out and is against it is the first Israeli who wants to abolish Israel. And that's factual.
I'm sure in some domestic politics, tax rates, I'm sure
smaller stuff is
yeah,
gonna be
domestically
different.
within Israel,
When
I'm
it
sure they
comes
are.
down to the war,
When it comes down to the
what's
region,
the
Israel's
vision?
role in the region.
Tell me what the vision is. If you think, what do you think their vision is? What do you think Israel's vision is?
There's a best case scenario and there's a worst case scenario.
Okay.
The best case scenario is that they have this idea of we must be in a state of permanent war footing, right? I think there's a phrase for I forget the name, combat between the conflicts. There's a military doctrine that says even when we're not at war, we carry on doing preemptive strikes, we carry on doing cyber warfare, we carry on doing assassinations, so that Israel remains the regional hegemon. We keep our superiority, our military edge. We let everyone know in the region.
No, we gotta stop lying. This is the way the world works. This is the way the world works. The strong are not getting messed with, while the weak will get messed with. This is the way the land is. And anybody else telling themselves different are just lying. They're lying for themselves. It's not reality.
region who's boss, even when we're not in a formal state of war. That's the best case scenario, that this is just a security doctrine that says we will bomb and invade whoever we like just to remain top dog in the region. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is it's ideological, that these are fanatical, messianic people who believe that all of the territory is theirs, given to them by the Bible. I interviewed Naftali Bennett in 2017, nearly a decade.
I don't understand. Are these guys so retarded? It is ideology. You have the same thing in the Serbs, you have the same thing in the Europeans, the ideology spreading, you have the same hating ideology spreading in the Americas. It's nothing new. It's just getting a reform and now coming out again. So I don't know why people are acting surprised. I don't even get how people cannot see it.
Ago for Al Jazeera. He was education minister at the time. I never forget this interview. I said to him, we were talking about peace treaties and two-state solution, and he said, the Bible says it's ours. I never heard someone say that bluntly to my face. I can't imagine Ilhan Omar going on TV and saying, the Quran says this, right? This guy's...
You know what is funny? Okay, fine, the Bible says it's yours. But the Bible says you are gonna get expelled too. So, if we're going with the Bible, they're gonna get expelled.
Openly saying, the Bible says the land is ours. Where do you go with that? There's no debate after that, right? That's just a kind of religious, ethnic, nationalist, messianic vision. So Benjamin Netanyahu, even though he's not a religious man, has signed off on a greater Israel. He was asked about whether he believes in it. He said, absolutely. The opposition leader, Yair Lapid, who's kind of centrist, supposedly a liberal, he was asked after the Mike Huckabee, Tucker Carlson interview. He said, do you agree with Mike Huckabee? That all of the territories from the Bible, it's all yours? He said, yeah, our borders are biblical. That's what the opposition leader said. Forget the right-wingers Smotrich and Ben Gvir.
What do you think is a likelihood that vision becomes a reality?
Right now, more likely than not, because the United States of America has allowed Israel to get away with a genocide.
How long? I mean...
No. Don't just say America. Listen. Not only United States of America. The West. Russia. China. Everybody. They're dick riding them.
Long term,
long term, no. Long term, it's perpetual war for perpetual peace.
And by the way, deep down inside, do you really think Trump wants this war to continue?
No, Trump doesn't like long wars.
No.
He likes short wars. That's why he's been humiliated by Iran, because he thought this would be over in a few days.
By the way, nobody thought Iran was going to be able to, not nobody. A lot of people on his camp, when they sat there and...
Yeah, that's the fucking illusion of them thinking they're some supreme people. They don't think they can get fucked. Bruh, you guys can get fucked like everybody else. You're in some special fucking kind of human. And Trump and all the Americans who thought they were gonna go in and da-da-da, you got fucked up, bruh. You got punched in the face and start crying.
and talked about it. It is a very fair argument to say that. No, let me make my point on what I'm saying. It is a very fair argument to say.
They lost the first day. The first day of the war, they lost. They didn't know what they were doing. It was a fucking shit show from the fucking first second.
That unlike Venezuela, which we went in, we got Maduro and we're out. Most likely, Cuba is going to be the same way as Venezuela, probably even easier when they go through and get it.
No, Cuba is not going to be easier. Honestly, Cubanians, they're fucking mad as fuck of how they're getting treated. So it's not going to be easier. It's going to be a fucking shit show for America.
Yeah, sure.
Iran showed up strength to the world. Yeah. And you got to give them credit, no matter what.
Listen, we got to be honest. The Cubanians, the real Cubanians, they hate. And honestly, if you are Cubanian and if you like the sanctions that America has given your country, you're a fucking son of a bitch, bro. But the real Cubanians, bro, they're gonna fuck everybody up who's trying to invade their country. And that's truth, because they have been fighting the last how many years with sanctions from the 60s, 70s. So that's like 60 years under sanctions and all of that. They know the real enemy. They know the administration is not the enemy.
Anybody says, conservative or on the left.
You can give them credit militarily, obviously not politically, but Trump, I don't think we can defend him with nobody knew this, but he did this line recently. Nobody knew they were going to hit the Gulf states. We all knew they were going to hit the Gulf states. They've been saying this for years.
Iran was going to hit the Gulf states.
Iran was going to hit the Gulf states. That's been their doctrine for years.
How fucking retarded you gotta be to not even fucking thinking that? Of course they're gonna fucking hit every fucking base. They're gonna be a fucking used against them. Who's the fucking military person thinking, nah, they're not gonna hit shit, bruh? You gotta be a fucking idiot, bruh. Iran is not fucking Iraq. that sold its people out. The whole administration sold the people out and invited the invaders. It's not Iraq. It's not some other country, bro. They're gonna fucking America up, bro. That's why America is scared. Bro, they removed all the ships. They removed all the people. They were like bitches, bro. If they got balls, they would go in with troops. But they know if they went in with troops, bro, it would get fucking... It would be a shit show. Why you even fucking... I don't even get it. Why America even fucking messing with Iran, bro? Iran is gonna fuck America up, bro.
Think that unify the Gulf states even more?
No. I think we've wrecked our long-term relationship with the Gulf states.
Tell me why.
I think in private...
The Gulf states are fucked. Listen, let me tell you what just happened in the Gulf states because of this war. The whole fucking Muslim world saw the Gulf states are nothing but Zionistic projects. They're fucking Zionistic projects and nothing else. They're not Muslims. That is what they saw. The whole illusion of the Muslim world, it disappeared. The Muslim world that the West have created. Finally, it crumbled. Dubai got exposed and all the other countries for being weak, having no army. Anybody would be able to take them over in no time. It's a fucking pretty much just an empty desert with some fucking tall buildings, nothing else. They got exposed for being weak and turning on each other as soon as they needed money. So all the Gulf states pretty much just got destroyed. Mentally, physically, everything. And that's good.
All of these Gulf states will, in public, they'll say what they got to say, but in private, they know the U.S. security umbrella does not extend to them anymore. They know that even if they give Donald Trump a $400 million plane, even if they put $500 million in his crypto business, Israel will always take precedence over them.
Do you think the Gulf states prefer Iran to be led by IRGC, or the story we saw recently with Pezeshkian, who's a moderate, stepping down because it's like everything's being run by. Who do you think the Gulf states would rather have?
I think the Gulf states are not a monolith, first of all, Patrick, because the UAE is very different to Qatar and Kuwait, right?
But they're neighbors.
They're neighbors, but they have different foreign policies.
I understand.
The UAE is an outlier. The UAE is very hawkish, very pro-Israel, very pro-America, very anti-Iran, which is kind of crazy because the US and Israel move on with their lives. The UAE is exposed to Iran for the rest of their lives.
Isn't UAE succeeding the most out of most of the Gulf states?
Are they?
Financially?
Are they? So many businesses have cleared out. Tourism has fallen.
What the fuck is Pete Patrick David talking about? I don't know, man. Maybe 80 to 90%, maybe more, maybe 95% of all projects are undone. They have not finished their projects. All the fucking projects they were talking about starting, it's bullshit. Bruh, don't fucking get me started. Fucking UAE or whatever they're calling it, Dubai. Bruh, it's only a scam, bruh. Everybody's going around scamming each other over there. Nothing else. Fucking prostitutes and fucking horse. Nothing else, bruh. Fucking man horse and woman horse and nothing else. Bruh, I don't give a fuck. All of them are fucking horse.
It's a huge industry based on tourism.
They would sell anything for money. The fucking asses, the fucking mothers, the fucking fathers, anything they would sell for the money because they're broke over there.
For the time.
You think people are going to go back? I think my thing is...
I think so.
I think that their image has been permanently destroyed. I don't think you could put it back in the bottle.
Yeah.
They had this image, especially to kind of white Westerners, as this business, tourist, even residential utopia. You go there, there's no crime, you chill out, everything's cheaper, etc., etc. I think that's gone now. Once Iran has done this, I think they've destroyed that image. Now, if you're Amazon or you're whatever it is, Chase Bank, you're going to go back into Dubai, Abu Dhabi, knowing that Iran can then do this again at any time they want. As long as Iran is still run by the same government, I don't think these Gulf states get that image back. And I think the Qataris understand that, even the Saudis understand that. They want a region, I think privately, and I may be wrong, and the few people in the Gulf I speak to say this to me, they recognize that Israel is the real problem in the region. They may not say so publicly. Some of them are signed up to the Abraham Accords like Bahrain.
No. We gotta clear this up. No. Honestly, Israel is not the problem. The Gulf states are the problem. If we gotta be 100%, because the Gulf states have allowed this for so long. And they're acting like, oh, we're Muslim. Nah, bruh. It ain't that easy.
UAE, But I think they understand that Israel is the destabilizing force in the region. It's Israel that bombed 6 countries in the Middle East last year. It wasn't Iran that did that. It's Israel that went to war now and brought the United States into the conflict and led to Iran bombing Kuwait and Qatar and Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And I think that is the situation we're in. I think you're going to see these Gulf states, if they're smart, making overtures to the Chinese and to the Russians in future years. They have to kind of diversify who they rely on.
Maybe it's me being a Syrian, maybe it's me being Armenian, maybe the fact that I lived in Iran could be the reason for this.
What? Did he say he's an Armenian and Syrian? The fuck is this guy talking about? Why the fuck is he trying to represent the Iranians then, if he's not Persian? So this guy, you see the problem. This guy is a fucking spy, a migrant to Iran, and now he's trying to destroy Iran. What the fuck?
But nobody, sells Israel as this incredibly powerful organization and brains than those who hate Israel. All they talk about is how powerful Israel is. I don't think there's anybody that's the Don King promoting how smart, intellectual, brilliant Israel is than those who cannot stand Israel.
Well, I'm not one of those.
But if
let me just go through the list. I'm not somebody who said Iran would roll over. I said Iran would make Iraq look like
Not
a walk
that,
in the
but I'm
park.
talking about
right?
like how-
I warned that Iran and America would not be able to destroy Iran in the way they thought they could destroy Iran. It was insane. It was hubris to think they could do that. I've been saying that for 15 years. I've been saying it since Iraq, 2003, when I was a 23-year-old marching against that war. When Bush was thinking about Iran, I was saying,
Are you afraid of Israel?
Am I afraid of
Are you afraid of Israel?
What do you mean?
Are you afraid of Israel's aspirations?
Oh, yeah. But aspirations are different, right? Can they pull it off? I agreed with you that just because they have this messianic vision doesn't mean they're going to win.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree
to
with
me,
that.
it's like, okay.
No,
like
they didn't win in
but,
Gaza.
bro,
Patrick, I said in 2020.
What? Of course they're pulling it off. They are pulling it off right now, man. Who the fuck can stop them? Why is this guy acting all dumb and all this? They are pulling it off. What the fuck? They are taking over all the Palestinian land. They are going into Lebanon. What the fuck is this guy talking about? They have taken some parts of Syria.
23,
Yeah.
and this whole plan, when people were like yourself and others were saying Israel has a right to self-defense, destroy Hamas, I said you can't. There is no military solution to your problem.
Yeah, so you know what it is for me. Don't talk to Mehdi because Mehdi's going to do this. No, I want to talk to Mehdi. No, I'm telling you, be careful. No, I want to talk to Mehdi. Oh, don't talk to Bibi because no, I want to talk to him. I wish you had an hour and a half to talk. No, don't talk to Nick. No, don't talk to this guy. I want to talk to him. I don't sit there and see that, my God, everything, they're so powerful, they're going to.
People are saying don't talk to them because you are not educated enough to give the correct questions, to ask the correct questions. That's why people are telling you. Yeah, listen, honestly, Patrick David, he's a fucking idiot, bro. His worldview will not even be fully developed in 20 years because he's too dumb, bro.
They control America, they do this, they do that. I mean, you're kind of giving them too much credit.
I mean, you're mixing different things together, though. One thing is militarily, can they win on battlefields? No, not always. Hezbollah defeated them in 2000, famously. That was the first time they were defeated by an Arab force on a battlefield when they withdrew from southern Lebanon. They're back now. We were told Hezbollah was done. Do you remember a couple years ago? Oh, the pages and the assassination of Nasrallah. They're done. It was a paper tiger. They just killed 30 Israeli soldiers in the last few weeks, right? They've injured hundreds more. Who knows what the real numbers are? So clearly they're not done for. Hamas is still around. And the Iranians still have, 70% of their missile stock, according to US intelligence. So the idea that these were all paper tigers was bullshit. That's a different argument. I'm not a military expert. I'm not going to sit here and adjudicate, who has the strength in the field. Politically, though, in this country, does Israel still have power? Sure. They still have politicians who support them. They still have lobby groups that advocate on their behalf.
So does Qatar.
No,
so
not on the level of.
What the fuck? That, again, propaganda. Fuck this Patrick Davids. Nah, bro, China doesn't, all the other countries doesn't. It's not even fucking close. What the fuck is he talking about?
Israel, come on.
Oh, okay, let me ask you a question. If you had $5 billion to win over influence in people in America politically and inject your way of thinking, would you put that money to buy over congressmen and senators, or would you put that money into winning over kids? Where would you put your money?
Both.
No.
Either or.
Okay, then do diversify. Seriously, use it as a mutual fund. You got $5 billion. How much you put in one? How much you put in the other one? Honestly.
I don't know.
I want you to think about it.
50-50. I think they're both important.
You think
you talk about, when you say young people, you mean like TikTok?
Universities. I'm talking about universities, TikTok, social. Give money to universities, give money to places to get the kids influence. Where would you put the money?
But let me take your example. Take it a step further. Okay, let's say I put it all in students. I win over young people. That's already happened. Have you seen the polling? The young people hate Israel.
I know.
But does it translate into policy? No, because the Congress still controls the purse strings. So I'll give you one example. 8% of Democrats support Israel's war in Gaza. 8%, according to a poll last year. In Congress, it's the other way around. It's like 80% of Democrats support Israel, only 8 or 10% are voting against weapons or genocide. I'm ballpark figures here. So what's the disconnect? The disconnect is we have a Congress that doesn't represent the public on either side of the divide. I don't think the Republican Party fully represents its base, but more so, Democratic Party certainly doesn't represent its base on Israel, the leadership. Look at these primaries. We're sitting on a day where there's going to be a bunch of primaries. So my big point here is, yes, it's great that young people have been won over. It's great that everyone under the age of 50 in the United States of America, whether Republican or Democrat, does not want more weapons going to Israel. That's the latest polling. Under the age of 50, everyone.
That makes sense to me.
Right? But Congress does. So the disconnect, this is why we have such a crisis of democracy. This is why Israel matters so much in our political system. It's not just a foreign policy issue. It's an issue of our democracy where we have members of Congress and a president who does not follow American will, does not follow the will of the voters. And so to answer your question, yeah, you do need to spend money lobbying Congress because ultimately they're the ones voting on weapons, they're the ones voting on aid, they're the ones voting to censor our speech, saying anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. All of that stuff is coming out of Congress. And people say, oh, Qatar and this. I just gave you an example. The Qataris gave him a $400 million plane. The Emiratis gave him $500 million for his crypto fund. The Saudis have sponsored multiple multi-million-dollar golf tournaments at his properties, hotels. Did it come in useful? When it came down to it, he picked Israel. He picked Miriam Adelson. He picked Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah.
He picked AIPAC. He picked Marco Rubio.
I don't know about
he
that.
picked all these people. What do you mean? We see it with our eyes.
I don't know about that. Listen, let me ask you this. Do you think, and by the way, you didn't answer my question. So I want to stay on the money part, and then I'm going to go to the next
I did
question.
answer. I said, I can spend it all on the kids. It doesn't matter.
No, but so
because ultimately, Congress is still more important.
So you would put all the money in Congress and
No,
spend
both. I said split.
You would do 50-50.
50-50. Win over the people, and then win over the people who represent the people.
So where does Qatar put their money? They put $6.5 billion in universities. Where does China put their money? $5.5 billion in universities. What type of influence do you think they got long term? You think long term? Like you think China thinks short term? You think Qatar thinks short term? You think they're trying to buy influence long term when they get in front of the kids?
You think? Do you have evidence? It's a serious question.
The dollar?
No, I mean, no. I'm talking about. Do you have evidence that? Well, first of all, what Chinese investment is going into university?
You want to pull it up, Rob? I mean, this. You know.
I know the Qataris are sponsored. I've been to Georgetown, Qatar. They spend a lot of money on US universities. But it's great. I'm asking about what's China's sponsored universities.
Oh, China's given donations to.
The Chinese government sponsors American universities. I did not know this.
Let me pull
I'm
up
happy
these
to show my
numbers.
ignorance.
By the way, I don't know where the money is coming from, but I'll show you here. China has invested an estimated 5.6. I was short by $1 billion.
Okay.
6.4 billion in American universities over the recent decade, making it one of the largest foreign. So why are they doing
No, hold on. You didn't read the third sentence.
Which is what these funds
are research. You think research partnerships with the Chinese is making kids on campus pro-China?
No, no. It's not what I'm saying. Okay. Mehdi, you're very smart. So
he just got called out, and now how the fuck can he deflect from this? Let's hear.
You went to Oxford. You got the PPE degree. Because it's like not the PPP loan. You got the legit PPE degree, right? Do you not think if these schools are getting this types of money, which phone call you think they're picking up?
That's so fucking dumb, bro. That was the dumbest. He just got fucking called out for lying, and now he's fucking deflecting.
Oh, you think we know, Patrick, because we just saw what happened the last 3 years. Did Colombia go pro-Israel or pro-Qatar?
But what did Colombia do?
They went pro-Israel. They silenced all the pro-Palestinian.
But what did they do? But what did they do?
They rolled over for Donald Trump and they rolled over for the Israel.
What was the event that happened that got them to get there?
I don't know which event.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going.
You follow the stories. You tell me, who was it? It was 3 universities. Right? Columbia was one of them.
And there was a bunch of universities that cracked down on pro-Palestine centers.
Why did they do that?
Multiple reasons. Pressure from politicians who are pro-Israel. Pressure from donors who are pro-Israel. Pressure from activist groups. This whole ridiculous debate where we conflate criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. I remember when I launched...
I'm not with that. Just so you know, like in Florida when they're saying you can't debate and criticize Israel, I'm not part of that camp.
Not just that. DeSantis is one of the many governors and Republicans
I'm not part of that
who have
camp.
said that if you're an American business that engages in BDS, you can't get contracts with the state. That's insane. That American business can't do what it wants to do.
But by the way, what I'm trying to tell you is I think the reasonable people are not with that. Short term, some of these things may come and go. Long term, they're not. I had Randy, what's his last name? Randy Fine. I had him on and I asked him the question about where he's at. I think you may have even tweeted something about it when we talked about it. I asked him a couple of questions pointed whether he was pro-America, America first, or Israel first. If you're in America, hey, I have a problem with you not being America first, but I want to go back to this. If they give $6 billion, you think they're dumb that they're just giving $6 billion to universities? You don't think they want things in return?
No, I think everyone. I think you made that point earlier. There are many lobbies trying to get their way. I'm not disputing that there are many lobbies. In fact, I'm the one who says, let's not treat the Israel lobby as a unique lobby. People are like, oh my God, AIPAC. I always say AIPAC, NRA,
all of them.
Big Pharma, all of these people.
All of them.
I want to get money out of politics. I'm on the left. I'm a Bernie, Elizabeth Warren.
I want to get money out of politics.
Let's get rid of Citizens United. Yeah, Citizens United, West Supreme Court decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so but let me come back to your direct point about influence. I'm not disputing that they're spending money, they're lobbying, everyone's doing it. I'm saying Israel's winning, and the evidence is what's happened.
I'm saying Israel's losing.
What's going on? Honestly, Patrick David, He's a fucking idiot, bruh.
Not only do I have a kid in college, I have multiple Muslim friends, leftist friends with kids in colleges.
Kids are now Jewish?
I have kids who've been arrested.
Yeah.
I have kids who've been doxxed. I know kids who've been suspended. I know kids who've been expelled because of their criticism of Israel. I watched a video of Rumeysa Öztürk, a young Turkish student at Tufts, be picked up by 8 ICE agents and detained because she wrote an op-ed in her student paper saying we should divest from Israel. And Marco Rubio had her detained for a year. Right? So don't tell me that Qatar is winning this argument. Qatar is not winning the argument on campus.
So
that's just a complete. Last 3 years is a complete denial.
I get your argument, but I would dispute it in the following way. Everybody is trying to win influence. Everybody.
Agreed.
And they're spending money. So no matter what it is, everybody. But the question is, whose money is working and who's not? The part where I go that's not working is, do you think Israel's popularity in America has increased or decreased in the last 5 years?
No, because that's a different argument. That's because people saw a genocide live stream to their phones, right? And you can't buy your way out.
It's more than that's one of it.
That's one of the big issues.
It's one of the bigger issues, but it's more than that. So whatever they.
No, it's not. It's not. Honestly, trust me, it's not. The only reason why a huge population in America doesn't want this war is because they are confronted and everything is... No, listen. The American people, they're not dumb. They don't want to lose face in the world. They know they're going to be seen as supporting G-side and also be called out for supporting G-side. And honestly, in the world, everybody calls American genocidal criminals. Just like the Israelis, just like the Serbians, just like the Russians, just like the Chinese. Bruh, that's why. And everything is now documented, and for all time it will be remembered who did what and who stood with what.
He did. Like even when Charlie Kirk, the letters came out when he was having a conversation with Bibi, and I don't know if it was the 7 things he wrote, the 6 things. Do you remember that when he wrote a letter? I don't know if you remember that or not.
I wasn't a big Charlie Kirk reader. You'll be shocked to hear.
Yeah, well, you would have liked him. It was a special.
No,
guy.
he didn't like me. He wanted me deported. He called for me to be deported from this country because he's such a free speech champion. He was.
What was his reason for it?
Because I said something about COVID that he didn't like.
What did you say about COVID?
Something about the whole school. My position on lockdowns, vaccines, whatever it was. He didn't like it, but instead of debating me on it, he said, "Who's this guy? He should be deported from the country."
Can you tell me specific what it was, Rob?
Rob, can pull it up.
You
There's
find
a
out?
lot of.
Now, if you said something crazy shit on Twitter and he responds back to you,
hold on, even if I said something crazy.
Oh. Now Patrick, he's sucking, what is called? Charlie's dick. Patrick, get Charlie's dick out of your ass.
Crazy.
He First Amendment, crazy too.
First Amendment doesn't come crazy.
First Amendment, he can also say that.
But
that's
you think we should threaten
Amendment.
people with deportation?
I don't know. You said some crazy shit. What did you say?
No, I didn't say anything crazy. I'm just saying, even let's say I did say something crazy.
No, but even
if I didn't say anything crazy.
But let's just say he said that. That's his freedom to be crazy.
Of course, it's his freedom.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like the guy. You're like, I would agree with
that's
him.
a different
That's how he got
story.
onto Kirk.
I get it.
Why would I
Yeah,
agree with the guy who hated Islam?
No, you don't have to.
He hated Islam and he wanted me deported.
That's a different story.
That's a different story.
But by the way,
Rob is fast.
Rob is fast.
We need you, Rob.
Charlie.
This is speed.
Charlie was a phenomenal guy. But let me go back to it.
We'll have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So, but where was I going with this? We were talking about influence, and then we went to universities. What topic were we on? I brought up Charlie. Rob, do you know where I was going?
You were saying talking to Netanyahu and the stuff.
Oh, yeah, when he talked to Netanyahu with the 7 points, and he said to him,
Charlie's not a great guy. He's a son of a bitch. His mother was a whore. His father was a fucking prostitute.
He said, you're losing the kids. Whatever you're doing, the propaganda, you're losing the kids. So it's not working. So if you say the influence of AIPAC or whatever they're spending their money to win over Congress and all these other guys, guess what happened? I think they gave money to John Cornyn. AIPAC did. He lost. He's been there for 40 plus years. Paxton won.
Yeah.
So what happened with that guy winning? He was a guy that was not even supposed to win. He had issues. Letters came out with his wife, all this other stuff. It wasn't a pretty thing. So I don't know if their influence, don't get me wrong. When you talk about Mary, she's putting up some real money there. I mean,
Trump's been very open about it.
She's put up some real money there.
And can I say, I don't think we're disagreeing that much. I think we're not actually disagreeing. I agree with you. I'm the first to say I'm very happy to see young people switching on this. I never thought a day would come in my lifetime where polls showed that the American public supports Palestine more than Israel, which we're now seeing from Pew and Gallup. That's an amazing change in public opinion for people like me. But
the only fucking reason is because of the internet, social medias, people fucking over flooding social medias. Because honestly, we gotta be honest. They used a lot of resources on blocking videos on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, bruh. They're using so many resources, but still they cannot catch up because there's a lot of people who want the world to be paradise and not some fucking slave fucking working slave, fucking, I don't know, district, like fucking hunting games, like fucking, bruh, people don't want this. So a lot of people, thankfully, is pushing what is happening in the world. And that's the only reason, because let's be honest, bruh, we are forgetting everything that is happening. Why did they take TikTok from that guy in Singapore or wherever he was from? It was because TikTok was the only place you could see reality. YouTube, everything blocked. Facebook, everything blocked. Fucking mainstream media, bruh, non-existent. So, that's why all that with purchasing TikTok, all of other things, Instagram, blah, 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 bruh. Don't get me fucking started, bruh. We all fucking know the truth. But the humans, that's the great thing about humans. They don't accept injustice. And they will always fight against it. And the information got spread. People saw the truth. And now they cannot hide it. Epstein files. Bruh, don't get me started, bruh. America is a fucking shit show. And the American population are fucking dumb. And every other nation around the world who allows them to get fucked by America deserves it because they are dumb. And as soon as they stop being dumb, America will lose their power. And it will be a new world order.
What I'm trying to say to you is all of that is valueless, worthless. Why the AIPAC calculation might make sense to AIPAC is, well, who cares what public opinions say? If we can, it is short term, but if we can control, but they don't think long term.
No.
Maybe the Chinese do. The Israelis think short term.
No,
the Israelis think.
What the fuck long term? Listen, Americans have fucking the memory as a goldfish, as well as the West. Don't get me started.
Talking Israeli.
Okay.
I'm talking about those who wanted to make sure, like, whatever their belief is, whatever your belief is, folks that are not pro-Israel, right?
Yes.
And hey.
Yeah, they've not won hearts and minds. We agree on that.
Oh, no. I think, I go to schools and I talk to kids. First thing I ask is, who do you watch? Used to be Charlie Kirk. Who's it now? Really? What's your position with Israel? Oh, boom. I mean, it's like zero to anger towards Israel. So guess what that means? Whatever the propaganda was, correct or not, it worked for those that are anti-Israel.
But guess what's
They've
scary?
made a lot of progress.
Guess what's scary?
What's
when
that?
the pro-Israel side hear you say that, when they see the numbers of people watching Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes, God help us, when they hear that, they don't go, shit, we need to work harder to win hearts and minds. What they say is, we need to crack down on democracy and free speech, because that's the only way we stay in power. That is why Peter Beinart, my good friend who used to be a hardcore Zionist, now a liberal.
That works anymore.
Peter makes the point that you're going to see a lot of Zionist groups in this country allying with the right. Traditionally, American Jewish groups have been pro-Democrat, liberal, but now they're allying with Trump and MAGA because they see a way of suppressing speech and joining with authoritarian forces because they can't win the argument fair and square.
I think that's a mistake.
It is a mistake.
But
that's what they're doing. Jonathan,
I understand that. But what I'm saying to you is it's very important to win over the kids. Very important to win over kids. And when I see China, Qatar.
What the fuck are they talking about? How can you speak about manipulating youth? Like it's needed. Nah, bruh. Let the youth make their own picture of the world. Let them listen. That's the thing. A child can see when something is unjust. A child, when he becomes a teenager, he can still see it. But when he comes into the school system and fucking start all that university, all of that shit, bruh, those guys get so brainwashed from left and right and all of that. And people like this guy, Patrick David, he's the kind of guy who support this brainwashing of youth. That's what they're talking about. That it's just not the correct brainwashing, you know? That's what Patrick Davis is saying right now. That's the fucking sick. It's sick, bruh. You Americans are sick. You accept somebody brainwashing your youth.
Putting that kind of money in schools, you know, their long-term thinking is let's win these kids over and then let's see what happens. So I don't think Israel is winning when it comes down to winning over.
Did you see the Jerusalem Post conference in New York this week?
No.
They hosted a conference that ties in with the Israel Day crazy parade. They had Ronald Lauder, the Estee Lauder guy, the billionaire, giving a speech. His son-in-law is the Federal Reserve guy, Kevin Warshie. I can't remember his name.
Is he Jewish? Is Jewish?
Ronald Lauder is a very leading figure in the American Jewish community, big supporter of Israel. He gave a speech at Jerusalem Post conference, and in that speech,
there you go.
He said that Mossad and Shin Bet, the Israeli intelligence, domestic and foreign intelligence, should be working hard to get American kids to support Israel, influence operations. Openly called for it in a speech. There's a clip doing that. It's insane, right? So when you're talking about this, is what I'm saying to you.
And listen, a statement like that in any normal circumstance would be seen as meddling and outside state-sponsored terrorism. That's pretty much what it is.
It's not that they don't know what's happening, but their solutions are so batshit
But
crazy.
go back to that story.
And so authoritarian.
Israel is losing the information war.
So they get it. They agree with you and me.
Yeah.
But their solutions are scary as shit. They're authoritarian.
It's not going to work today, though.
I hope it doesn't work.
You know why
That's
it's not
their
going to work?
plan.
You know why it's not going to work today? Why is it not going to work? Are you with MSNBC today?
No.
Okay, where are you at?
Why is it not going to work? Let's hear Patrick Davids use his brain a little. Let's hear why is it not going to work.
I'm independent.
What can you talk about?
Anything I want.
Anything you want.
Yeah.
As long as you don't say something crazy that you get a strike on YouTube, you're
Yeah,
good
but
to
that's
go.
the thing, right? Look at TikTok. When Mitt Romney had Anthony Blinken.
What the fuck? What kind of fucking reasoning was that? Bro, these guys are supposed to be so fucking smart. How the fuck did he come to that reasoning? Listen, they can do many things. They can fucking do more cyber security and going in and deleting more videos. They can put delays. They can on videos. There's so much they can do. They can fucking, like they already are doing, killing people. They can, and the only thing Patrick David was thinking was such a retarded comment.
Blinken on stage. Do you remember that famous conversation a couple of years back? And he said, everyone's like, oh, they're going after TikTok because of China, because of China, because of China. And Mitt Romney just sits with Blinken and says, every time I go on TikTok, you see 6 times, 7 times as many pro-Palestinian posts as pro-Israel posts. We got to do something about that. Blinken's nodding. I'm like, Mitt, you're not supposed to say that out loud. You're supposed to say that in a smoke-filled room. He said it on stage, right? He made it clear that the TikTok, taken over TikTok by the Ellisons and co. was always about Israel more than it was about China. And that does worry me because you could say, oh, well, I wonder today, if God forbid the genocide restarted today at the level it did in October 2023 after the horrific massacre on October 7th, what would we see on our social media screens today? I think you'd see much less than you saw in October, November, December 2023.
So if you, okay, fair on what could happen there.
Yep.
But to me,
but the information will still be spread. They cannot. The thing is, the next time they're trying to do that, a new app is going to take over the market in seconds. The next time they're going to block something informational like that, bruh, TikTok's going to die and some new app is going to take over everything.
I think the independent content creators
That they haven't bought yet.
Israel wasn't used to these guys 20 years ago. And this is a very different game.
Yeah.
Very different game. So they were not accustomed to these guys coming on and not needing anybody and just sit in front of the computer, play video games and talk. And nowadays you have streamers. Streamers are influencing kids. Gamers are influencing kids. How long this is going to last, I don't know.
Look what the UK government just did. My
With
country.
Cenk
They
and
just
Hasan?
banned Cenk and Hasan.
Yeah.
So again, that's the short-term crackdown. We can't win
What
the
was
argument.
reasoning, by the way? What did they say?
Anti-Israel.
But what was a specific
They didn't
thing?
give a specific as far as I'm aware.
Well, I mean, UK, you know your country.
I didn't
How
see,
many
I haven't seen the details because
Rob, do you know
I know that they didn't say, look, banned for criticizing Israel. They say. I don't know what the UK government has said. But
they're saying this. You don't know if that's the position.
I don't know. I don't know the
Right.
exact. But my point being, this is exactly what we just talked about, which is, again, we can't debate with Hassan Piker, the streamer, so we just prevent him from coming to speak.
You can do it here, though. This is
That's the funny thing. They don't understand. People are stubborn. And when they see injustice, they want to yell 10 times louder and don't give a fuck. Honestly. Trust me. They're going to get flooded by 100 Hassans from the UK now. Because people getting in will get annoyed about this decision, you know? That's that's the funny thing. People hate injustice, and when they see it, they fight it so much harder. And I don't get how the fucking countries can't see it. Honestly, it's so fucking funny.
Specifically in UK.
But my point is, but they do it in reverse, right? So with the UK, you pressure the UK
I don't know
government.
about Cenk, but you want to pull up some of the stuff Hassan said? You want to give him feedback on what he said? Like,
I give him feedback. I know Hassan very well.
have you heard about some of the stuff?
He knows that he said some
capitalist blood on the,
he
let
said
them.
some outrageous stuff.
He said,
knows
is he the guy that's
a lot of stuff is
9/11
quoted
happen again or something?
No, what he said. Okay, come hold on. What
Can
he
you
said,
just pull up the crazy shit he said?
No, hold on. I'm not going to.
I know you're going to defend him, but I want to know what's.
I'm not going to defend him. Actually,
go ahead.
Well, I'm going to defend him from falsehoods. I've spoken to Hassan very bluntly and said, you've given your
deserved
opponent.
9/11.
Yes. What is the context of that?
Tell me.
The context, he was talking about American foreign policy and, the quote unquote famous line about, chickens coming home to roost. It was a very.
Honestly, fuck 9/11. Who the fuck cares about 9/11? I'm more interested in all the Native Americans who got killed by the Anglo-Saxon white people coming out and colonizing and destroying treaties and killing them at night, giving them killing them with biological weapons. That's more interesting. Fuck 9/11. Who the fuck cares about 9/11?
Very provocative statement. He's apologized for that, by the way, just to be clear.
Sure.
But even Robert Kagan, Robert Kagan is the big neocon.
Yeah.
He came out recently and said, you know what? 9/11 was a result of our bad foreign policy.
And why the fuck would we even care about 9/11? Listen, they haven't documented shit. As far as I know, America did it. And Israel should prove me wrong. Shit, show me your documents. Why not show the documents? As far as no document, no proof has come out, and it's all about who said, he said, some said, America did it. Go blame America.
He just said it in a.
Go blame your own administration. Why the fuck have you not gotten your documents, bitches? Don't go around blaming other son of a bitch. Go blame your administration. Why not get the documents? What happened?
More diplomatic, Atlantic Magazine friendly way.
So you're supporting him saying that, Hassan Piker?
No, he shouldn't have said it like that, because America deserved 9/11. Makes it sound those people died was worth it. No,
Right.
But did America bring 9/11 on itself? 100%. Our U.S. foreign policy created Osama bin Laden, created Al Qaeda, created all of these wars in the Middle East, created that jihad in Afghanistan. 110%. That was a blowback from U.S. foreign policy. Every serious scholar who's looked at that admits that now. We're coming up to 25th anniversary of 9/11. Even Robert Kagan is saying.
When do you think? Rob, can you pull up how many arrests happen in UK versus
Fuck 9/11.
other countries on social media? I don't know if you've seen this. That's
Yes,
worth
I've
watching.
seen it. It's a little bit out of context.
But when you talk about Hassan Piker, what he said, to me, you can say anything you want to say. The only thing I have a problem with is when it comes down to a threat to someone's life.
Yes.
Give your opinion. Hey, I disagree with this guy's this guy's a that. But when it gets down to that, and then
He's never threatened anyone's life.
when he said capitalist blood, let them die. Can you pull up that clip?
I don't know that clip. I need to see
If
the full
Hassan
context.
sat right here, I'm 47, you're 46, I think we're a year apart. You're 79, right? 7K. So we're the same age. So when you sit down with a young guy like that, and we've made some major mistakes
I just
in our
told
career.
you. I talk to Hassan all the time. Don't give your opponent sticks with.
Here's the one. Watch this.
The guy is a non-violent guy. He doesn't support war or killing. He just says provocative things.
Do you have it, Rob, with audio or no?
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill
As a
them.
result.
Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Yeah, that's a dumb.
Good-looking
That's
guy,
a dumb thing to say.
talented guy, good speaker. Why would you say
I'm
something
going to
like
text
this?
Hassan after this and say, you screwed me over on the Patrick Bet David, because I'm not going to defend that. I don't know what the context of that is. But look, even you said, let's park Hassan Piker. Cenk Uygur said a lot of things that are very provocative too. Not like that, but about Israel.
Yeah.
The point is, to go back to my wider point, which is there's still a way for them to shut down the conversations, to censor speech critical of Israel.
Cenk
to
is
stop
pretty loud.
influence.
Cenk is everywhere
But
today.
now he can't speak in the UK, is my point.
Well, that's the
But I don't understand. What is the wow that he said, Hassan Piker? It isn't like, ooh, something crazy. Why is it crazy what he said? Why is it not more crazy that American healthcare system are killing everybody every day? Many fucking Americans, but what Hassan Piker said is whoa. But what's it called? Healthcare system are doing in America, nobody cares. And they're going out and not fucking insuring people. And don't get me started in the army and the poison food. And this motherfucker, look at him. He looked like an ape, honestly. This guy, he's an ape for the mega movement. This is an ape, nothing else. Monkey, stupid like monkey. Honestly. He's a retard, this Patrick David.
the argument for UK's dumb policy.
And honestly, as far as I know, Hassan, he probably said this shit in some fucking stupid, funny kind of way about something to make it ironic or something. Because some some cheddar probably fired him up about something retarded. But yeah, that's the thing. They're just gonna use a little clip, not give context. Stop that fucking propaganda. Nobody believes your fucking propaganda anymore. Fuck you, Patrick Davidson. He's a fucking retarded. Why the fuck is people even watching him? People should stop watching him so he don't have a YouTube channel.
Okay, you don't think the U.S. Have you?
Not at bro. Pull up.
No
numbers
way. Come on, let's compare. The U.S. is much worse.
Dude, well, look at this here. The number of arrests for hateful messages. Social.
Marco Rubio locked up students in this country for their speech, for speaking. For a young woman in a hijab from Turkey wrote an article in a student paper. She said we should divest.
I don't know
from
the
Israel.
whole story. So
pull it up, whatever you want.
I don't know the whole story.
A judge threw it out. He said it was a chilling free speech in this country.
What?
He had her released from prison. Multiple cases. I'm going to give you one.
Was she a U.S. citizen?
No,
was
she was a Turkish student.
She was a Turkish student here.
Legal student. Studying at Tufts.
Student here and criticized American policy.
No, she said she didn't even criticize the American government. She said my university, Tufts. Hey, Tufts, we should divest from Israel. Marco Rubio locked her up.
Right here?
This is one right here.
F1.
The judge threw the case out. He said it was complete assault on free speech. In fact, a Reagan judge, Patrick, you don't have to trust lefties. Let me quote you a Reagan judge, a guy called William Young, appointed by Ronald Reagan. When he looked at the cases of all these students, he said Donald Trump has launched a, quote, this is his word, full-throated assault on the First Amendment. Right? Marco Rubio is deporting people like Mahmoud Khalil, who you may not be a fan of, not because they did any terrorist activity or called for the killing of anyone, but because under some random 1952 immigration law, the Secretary of State has the power to deport anyone he says is undermining U.S. foreign policy through their speech.
Can he?
Well, it's never been tested at the Supreme Court. There's one judge who adjudicated on this law. You know what her name was? Guess what her name was? Judge Marion Barry Trump. Trump's sister is the only judge to ever look at the 1952 law on its merits, and she said it was
What?
unconstitutional. But it then got rejected by another court on procedural grounds. Yeah, it's never been tested. But you and I, if I just describe it to you, you and I think it's insane, right? The Secretary of State should not have dictatorial powers.
I don't know the laws behind it. So
let's assume I'm right.
Sure.
Assume I'm right. Yeah. You would disagree with the idea that the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, Marco Rubio, whoever it is, has the power unilaterally to throw out people who have broken no laws because he didn't like what they said. Surely you as a free speech guy would be opposed to that.
And by the way, the way you're making it seem like is you're quick to forget what happened under Biden. You're quick.
I just said Blinken too.
Speech was
I just said Blinken's name. How can you say I'm quick to forget Biden?
Do you know how many?
No, hold on. How can you say I'm quick to forget Biden? I just said Blinken.
I'm just reminding you how many people on YouTube got strikes, videos taken down. What things we couldn't talk about. We couldn't criticize anything about vaccine,
That's
COVID.
Not true.
You know how many strikes I got?
You're exaggerating. You couldn't criticize anything about vaccines. I was there in the pandemic. People were criticizing vaccines. You were
and videos were disappearing like this. I can do easy research for you, send a report to you. Okay. Videos were disappearing like that. People that were talking, creating content, massive YouTubers were disappearing.
So, hold on. You've just made my point for me a minute ago. You said America's much better than the UK. Now you're saying America's dictatorial too, so we're agreeing.
No, I'm not saying America's better than UK. When it comes down to arrest, we don't arrest.
What was Rabbi Sostek? I just showed you.
You want me to,
I can go through the list. Should I go through the list? Mahmoud Khalil.
Are you really going to defend
I know these people.
UK versus US?
I'm going to say right now, the US is much worse than the UK.
Stop it.
And actually, by the way, the UK.
Stop it.
Hold on. The UK is really bad right now.
When's the last time somebody knocked on your door and said, Mehdi, be quiet, you're talking too much?
No, the UK is. By the way, I don't want to defend the UK. The Labour government in the UK passed a law that criminalised Palestine Action. You heard of this group, Palestine Action?
No.
It's a group that went and threw paint on some, broke into a military base and threw paint, and I think they assaulted a police officer, fought with them. I can't remember what the charges were. But they were classified as a terrorist group alongside ISIS and some far-right white supremacist groups. Insane. There's no intelligence for this. They rammed it through Parliament, got it voted on, and then they started rounding up people. I don't know if you've seen the videos. Every weekend for the last few months in the UK, people were protesting against the genocide. Little old ladies, a guy in a wheelchair, vicars, priests, grabbed by 2 police officers, arrested, you're a terrorist, because they said Palestine Action. You can't say Palestine Action. So I'm not going to defend the British government. They're deeply repressive right now. But funnily enough, Elon Musk never talks about cases like that. He always brings up the cases about
Tommy Robinson.
All of that stuff.
I'm sure you're a big fan of Tommy.
Oh yeah, and he's a big fan of mine. But the biggest threat right now, there's no more repressive law than this law they did to basically, if you go out and say Palestine Action, you say the 2 words. If I go to the UK tomorrow and say Palestine Action, I will be arrested.
So what do you think about what happened to Henry Nowak?
Who's Henry Nowak?
You don't know who Henry Nowak is?
I will if you remind me.
Can you pull it up, Rob? Henry Nowak. This is the guy in Southampton, England, last year, December 3rd, 2025. 18-year-old kid is going home, murdered by Vikram Digwa. The video just came out. The Vikram guy stabs Henry Nowak. That's the problem. Media's not even talking about this. Stabs Henry Nowak. I don't know how many times. Cut and stabbed Nowak a total of 5 times with a knife. When police arrived, Digwa accused Nowak of assault. And officers handcuffed Nowak. He died shortly after being handcuffed. The video came out, I think, yesterday, Rob, if you want to pull it up. And it showed the guy can't breathe. He's having a hard time breathing. He's telling the cops, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. All of a sudden, he dies. And they said, no, you said some racist comments. Rob, I sent the video to you in the notes if you go to it. So,
okay. So what's the point of that?
But I'm going to tell you what's the point. No.
It's horrible.
No, but because the cops sided with Digwa. They said Digwa told them that he made racist comments. And with the guy saying, I was stabbed by these guys, he's running away. They caught him. The guy had an 8-inch knife, the typical, the Sikh, what do you call it? Ceremonial knife that they have. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, which now,
he gets stabbed.
now they want to ban.
Can you...
I did see British politicians saying they want to ban it, and I didn't realize the context. This is the context.
And this is the context. And they said they wanted to ban it. Keir Starmer came out today and said, no, we're not going to ban it. But you know what you can't have in England? You know what you can't have in England? You can't even have pepper spray. Pepper spray has not been legal since 68, but they can have that knife. How that makes any sense? So for me, you and I can cherry pick stories on both sides to create rage on why this or that, but the stats are the stats. So when you're saying that story about America and UK, you hear a story like this. Where is the rage with this? Where's the outrage?
That's not even a free speech story. We were talking about free speech. You brought up stats about social media arrests, and I'm saying to you right now,
Fucking pure manipulation again from Patrick David Dick Ryder.
in the US, you can be arrested by this government, detained for a year without charge, because you said something the government doesn't like about Israel, by the way, about a foreign country. It's not even about the American government.
Yeah.
You're not even criticizing the American government. You're criticizing a foreign
I'm
government.
going to go look it up, and I'll give you my response to you personally
Look up,
myself.
have them on your show. Have Mohsen Madawi on your show. Have Badr Khan Suri, who's in court right now, on your show, Georgetown student. These guys were picked up off the streets by masked men, unmarked
These
cars.
people love America.
Yes.
They
Why
love
are here?
America. I don't know. Are they planning on staying here or going back home?
Mahmoud Khalil is married. He has a kid. He had a kid while he was in prison. Donald Trump, the Family Values Party, the Republican Party, didn't let this guy be with his wife when she gave birth. Didn't let him hold his baby.
What do you say about Henry Nowak? What I just showed you?
I think that's horrific.
That's you. I
think that's horrific.
But this.
I don't know the details, but obviously the police got it wrong.
This is the part that kind of. So you represented the media on the left. Okay. So Rob, can you go back to that story, that New York Times? If you search the two different words of George Floyd versus what happened with Novak. You just had it up right now a minute ago.
Come on, you're gonna do this?
No,
the
he's
media
gonna be
is
fine.
the media is.
But wait a minute. This is New York Times. Go to the first one.
I'm not a fan of the news.
You type in Henry Nowak. How many names? Results 19. Go to the next one, Rob. George Floyd 6397. There is no incentive to tell this story because it doesn't go with the narrative.
So I disagree with you. I grew up in the UK. Right-wing media has been telling these stories all my life. All I've seen is black people and Muslim people on the front pages. Have you looked at the front pages of the Daily Mail, the Daily Express? What do you mean the UK is being destroyed?
You think UK is doing good?
Yeah, I mean, no, but not for the reasons you think.
Why do you think UK is not doing good?
I think economically it's doing very badly. It had very bad leadership for the last 15 years. The Conservative government that came in 2010 did
Why? Maybe because they fucking helped America in so many wars. All the money was spent on fucking dumb shit. Maybe because the fucking America pulled the rug under the world in 2008 with the financial crisis. Maybe it didn't fucking fully fucking recover and then fucking started the war in fucking the Eastern European countries and fucking made a fucking financial crisis again. Shut the fuck up, Patrick. You fucking dumb, stupid guy, motherfucker. You're a guy sucking dick, motherfucker.
Austerity program after the financial crisis.
You put it on Cameron. Cameron is
David Cameron and George Osborne did a austerity program that basically gutted the British state, gutted our competitiveness, didn't cut the deficits, actually ruined our fiscal credibility, downgraded our credit rating, destroyed our growth over the course of a decade, undermined our health service.
Do you put anything tied to immigration to that?
No.
None.
Immigration's been a boost for the British economy. In fact, cutting immigration is bad. Look at Brexit. Brexit's been a disaster for the British economy. Do you know how many people in Britain want to rejoin the
Brexit, bruh. Don't even get me started on Brexit. Brexit is the funniest shit ever. That's a brain fart that fucked them even harder, bruh.
EU? A majority. Pull that up. The majority of Britons want to go back into the EU. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Patrick? Why do you think Britons want to go back into the EU? You just said Britain's being destroyed.
No, but have you looked at the crime numbers? What's going on in UK?
Crime is very low.
Have you looked at
crime is very low, Patrick?
So let me ask you.
Do you know what the crime rate in London is?
Did you see the tweet that came out?
I know you're not a fan of Sadiq Khan. You're not a fan of my good friend Sadiq Khan, are you?
What EU did? You saw the tweet that came out. What EU was saying they're doing, that they want to find a way to get rid of illegal immigrants.
Okay, you're jumping around, Patrick. Britain is not in the EU. We're talking about Britain. You just said Britain's being destroyed, which is nonsense, and then you said crime rate. Have you looked at the London crime rates? Last year, London had its lowest per capita murder rate since records began. Had the lowest volume of homicides for 30 years under Sadiq Khan, third-term mayor, who people in America, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, get very worked up about. I don't know if you guys get worked up about him. Been a very successful mayor, and crime has come down by record numbers. Violent crime and murder.
When you're looking at EU, do you know which country in the EU has the lowest rape rate?
Talk about the UK, Patrick.
Stay with UK. Stay with
the UK is not in the EU anymore, sadly.
EU to me, I'll put them somewhat together in the same area.
They left 10 years ago.
By the way, so you're saying immigration coming from all these countries has been a successful project for the EU?
What's your definition of success?
Many different ways.
Economically, the EU desperately needs migrants. Have you seen the age rate? Pull up the demographic.
Okay, so it's
a dying continent with a very low birth rate, as Elon Musk likes to point out.
So when you think
they got no one there to work, to pay taxes, to look after the elderly, to run.
And that's factually, bruh. The whole fucking healthcare system is run by migrants and fucking that kind of people from outside, bro. They don't get. Listen, people in Europe don't know how to fuck, bro. They don't know how to be in a relationship, bro. They're fucking whores, bro. The fucking system made them whores, man. What the fuck are people talking about? The fucking cooch is so dirty they can't produce kids. Fucking, be fucking truthful. Honestly, all this fucking bullshit. Fucking Patrick Davids, shut the fuck up, bro.
On the health services, etc.
So maybe the one argument I'll go to see what you'll say about this. Do you think the West, when it comes down to West, Muslims can coexist with the West?
Took a handbrake
I'm curious. I'm curious.
We went from Britain's being destroyed to London crime to EU to Muslims.
I'm curious.
Okay, we got to
tell me where you are with this. Do you think they can
I'm
coexist?
Muslims. What do you think?
Do you think they can coexist?
Do you think I can coexist with
I think you can coexist.
Why me?
Educated, you're a worker, you're now a capitalist, you're contributing, you're creating jobs. I would say you're a net positive.
Do you not think most Muslims do that?
I don't think depending on where they're coming from, they don't, because if their countries did a good job, why would they leave it?
War that we caused?
War that who caused?
That we caused.
So they're leaving because of us.
Well, you know the big controversy in the UK over the boats, the small boats coming across the channel. Do you know what the top 3 nationalities are in those boats?
Tell me.
Iran number 1,
Okay.
Afghanistan number 2, Iraq number 3. Now,
So-
Iran is a current war. Let's park Iran. But are you telling me we're not responsible for the
Yeah.
mess in Afghanistan and Iraq? Come on.
When you look at this, let me show you this. Rob, can you pull this up? When it comes down to, let me see which one I got here.
I love Rob bringing up these.
No,
I love he brings this up.
I know you like numbers.
No, I love being proved right as well. It's
per
good
capita.
for my ego.
No, per capita. Per capita. When you look at the countries, Rob, I think you got it. Gulf states, how they perform per capita versus some of the other Muslim nations. Look at this one here.
Because they got oil and gas.
Do you think it's only oil and gas that's causing them? You don't think?
Did you know what these countries were like in
Let
the
me ask you a
60s and
question.
70s?
Iran has plenty of oil.
Yeah.
How come they're not in here?
Maybe
Iraq
there was
has got oil.
Can I answer your question?
But this has been going on for a minute. This is not a one.
Embargo, fucking Patrick, you fucking stupid idiot, man. How the fuck can you be so fucking dumb? A fucking 3rd grader would fucking be able to fucking answer that question. How the fuck do your brain fucking not think, you fucking son of a bitch? He think people are dumb like him?
On your thing.
Can I answer your question?
Sure.
Why do you think Iran's not doing well economically? Should I go through the list?
You're going to say it's sanctions. You're going to say
Of course I'm
it's
gonna say
America.
sanctions.
You're going to say it's America's fault.
Not just America's fault.
So how come
but partly, hold on. How much? Okay, you left Iran during the Iran-Iraq war, right? Is that
I
what you-
left Iran after Khomeini died, 6 weeks after Khomeini died.
Okay, so Iran-Iraq was done by then.
89,
So Iran-Iraq
July
was
15th, 89.
So Iran-Iraq was done. Iran-Iraq was
was done.
1980 to 1988.
Yes.
$600 billion of damage done to Iranian infrastructure, the economy, the cost of that war.
But
That was a
whose
war that
fault is
Saddam
Whose fault
Hussein.
is that? Oh, you put it on Saddam.
Whose fault do you think it is? Who invaded who?
So, by the way,
hold on, Patrick, come on.
You don't at all put that on IRGC?
No, I put it on the.
You don't put it on Islamic Revolutionary
I put it
Guard?
on the country that invades the other country. That's how the world works. I blame Russia for the Ukraine war.
Why
They
do they-
invade.
Brad, did you just see Patrick Davidson? He got fucking confused as fuck. Why the fuck he look confused? What? Does it function like that? No, it isn't like that. It isn't the invading army who's to blame. Nah. Fuck, that's so funny, bro.
They have a hard
Ukraine.
time getting along with other people.
Why did Saddam Hussein? Are you pro
Iran.
Saddam?
No. Why does Iran have a hard time getting along with other
That was
people?
what I said. I said there was an Iran-Iraq war. You said, is America to blame? I said, yes, we backed Saddam Hussein. Did we not back Saddam Hussein? Did Donald Rumsfeld not fly and hug? You can pick up Rob can bring up a video of Donald Rumsfeld hugging Saddam Hussein in 1983 in Baghdad. Were we not supporting the Iraqi invasion of Iran that cost Iran 1 million lives?
I love it.
$600 billion
In the
in
capital.
infrastructure damage. You're saying that didn't play any role in Iran's economic future.
Why don't they?
You're not answering my question.
No, but you don't understand what I'm saying.
No,
But Mehdi, let me ask
you want me to acknowledge
No,
that?
but look, let's give credit to, for instance, when Mamdani goes to the White House, you and I both gave credit to both of them for being diplomatic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think Iranian leadership with the IRGC is diplomatic?
No. I
Do you
think they've been horrific in their leadership. I think they've given themselves, they've given their opponents a stick with which to beat them. I was a big critic of Ahmadinejad back in the day. He said dumb things.
So do you think Khomeini was good for Iran?
Do I think Khomeini was
Do you
good
think
for
Khomeini
Iran?
was good for Iran?
No, in hindsight, of course not. If you look at the record
So then
today,
we're on the
look
same
what we
page.
left behind.
What I'm trying to do is
I've said this before. I went on Piers Morgan show. Just to be clear, for people who don't know, I'm Shia. Right? I'm a Shia Muslim.
I know you're Shia,
Which
yeah.
is the majority religion in Iran.
Sure.
Right? So I do, but there are two types of Shias. This is a very crude, I'm trying to explain to your audience. Religiously, theologically, politically, there's two types of Shias. There are those who believe in what's called Vilayat Faqih, WF. They believe that Khomeini, this was a political theory, some say a religious theory, pushed by Ayatollah Khomeini, that said that the clerics, the Ayatollahs, the mullahs, whatever you want to call them, they should rule. Power should be with them. That is the model that Iran has followed. There is another school of thought that comes out of Iraq, mainly out of a city called Najaf, and an Ayatollah called Sistani, who is the leading Shia Ayatollah in Iraq today. And they say, no, we are all for religion. We're all, we want everyone to practice Islam, Shia Islam, but we're not going to rule. After the American toppled Saddam, Ayatollah Sistani did not do a Khomeini. He did not say, I'm going to become supreme leader of Iraq. He said, have elections, democracy, vote. I'm going to stay in my house and I'm going to give you advice, religious advice when you need it. I follow the Ayatollah Sistani view of the world, crudely put. I don't follow the Ayatollah Khomeini view of the world. So when you say to me, was he good for Iran? as a governmental system, no, I don't support the governing system of Iran the way it is. But you're changing the subject. You're avoiding you are.
I'm not.
There was an 8-year war. We were talking about Iran's economy.
There.
What the fuck? He jumped to 20 fucking different topics every time he got checked.
Trust me, I lived there. I witnessed it.
I understand.
You should entertain the idea of living in.
How the fuck did he witness it? How old was she? What the fuck did he witness? Fucking an apartment in fucking where? Shut the fuck up, Patrick, you fucking manipulating liar.
In a Muslim majority country, see what it's like.
I understand.
I live there.
You're jumping around.
I'm not.
You were talking about the economy.
Iraq, Iran. I'll let you finish your thought, and then I'll go back to my question that I have.
So
finish your thought.
Finish my thought. Well, it's a thought that requires a response from you, which is, if there's an 8-year war that Iraq started and we supported, that cost $600 billion to Iran, that took out 1 million members of their population, and then was followed by crazy sanctions, are you telling me then that it's fair to compare that economy with Abu Dhabi? Are you seriously telling me that's a fair
Can
comparison?
you go back to that chart again, Rob, for me? So you just defended Iraq, right? That we backed up Iraq.
Yes.
That went against Iran.
Yeah.
How come they're not on the top GDP per capita on this list?
Do you know what happened to Iraq after the Iran-Iraq war?
So now you have another reason. It's America's fault again.
I mean,
So we're just gonna forget the invasion of 20 years. Honestly, Patrick Davis, he's a fucking special kind of retard, bruh.
you study history, Patrick? Do you know what happened in 1991? We did a Gulf. There's a Gulf. Saddam idiotically invaded Kuwait.
Victimhood language for you to say. So on one end,
Wow.
On one end you're saying this. On the other end, no, it's because
You're
of this.
comparing countries. You're showing me a graph comparing countries that have never been bombed, invaded, and occupied with countries that have been bombed, invaded, occupied, and then you say, why is the GDP per capita higher in one, not the other?
Why haven't
That's an insane comparison.
Why have they made so much progress? Why? They're Muslim majority.
Yeah.
Okay, why have they made so much progress?
I mean, first of all,
and by the way, at this point, just so you know, the argument is now not about Muslim.
I know it's not.
I know, but the argument is why are some winning, some are not?
And I
why
explained war plays a big role in this.
Well, Mehdi, a part of it
I just pointed out to you the 3 biggest refugee groups on the boats going into England are Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Sure, yeah.
Coincidence? No, those are war-torn countries.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm trying to tell you is even with that, if you sit here and say every single time everything is America's fault, what responsibility do they take? Do they take any responsibility that they're not making the right decision for other people?
Just to be clear, people can rewind. Rob does screenshots, but people watching on YouTube can rewind. Never did I say it's all America's fault. I've never said that. Have you read? You said you've read my stuff. You've seen my stuff.
I've seen your
I'm
stuff.
very critical of Muslim majority countries. I am very critical of the Iranian government. I'm very critical of the Saudi government. I'm very critical of the
feedback would you-
Emirati
what do you
government.
think they can do?
I do a show for Al Jazeera, and I grilled the Qatari foreign minister on that show about the lack of democracy.
Dude, I've seen your stuff.
I'm critical of Arab governments, Muslim government, Pakistan.
Do you think the Middle East is a safer place with IRGC in charge of running America or somebody like a Pezeshkian, more to moderate?
Of course, I'm more of a moderate. I would like to see. And again, who undermined the moderates in Iran? Sorry, it's going to be the answer
I
you don't
agree.
like. The United States of America.
No, I disagree.
The United States of America.
No, I disagree. I don't think that's the case.
Who
Israel.
Oh, well.
No, I don't.
Our proxy then.
No, but listen to you were not expecting my answer.
No, because I don't accept this fake split between US and Israel.
But this is not it. But let me tell you I do. Because what I see going on right now is I see Israel, in a way, I actually like what's taking place. Let me explain to why I like what's taking place. A part of what's going on right now is the world is able to see Bibi's motive versus Trump's motive. Like, you remember that one time when the Trump and Bibi are on stage speaking, and he's saying, yeah, we're thinking about taking over Gaza, and we're going to build a hotel here. And then you see Bibi goes like, wait, what? You never told me that. He kind of, I don't know if you remember that session or not.
Okay. The West Bank equivalent.
So a part of it for me, I like that this is happening because I prefer this to be in the public's eye. I prefer for Trump to show, hey, listen, if I want to go become a prime minister of Israel, I would do it. You're there just because of me. I like him saying that publicly.
All right.
I like that is taking place. But to me, who wants IRGC to be gone?
It's a couple of things. On the Trump point, I agree it's better these things happen in public, and there is a weird upside to Trump having such a big mouth and saying crazy shit all the time. There is a pro to that. I get that. But let's not...
It's the best. Honestly, he's exposed America for what it is.
Forget, Patrick, you saw the New York Times big piece where we discovered from Jonathan...
Honestly, he should have a peace prize. Now when I'm thinking about it. Honestly, he's the one who fucking showed America for what it is. A fucking satellite state for Israel. Nothing else.
Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, that Benjamin Netanyahu went to the Situation Room and made the case to Trump with Mossad joining via Zoom or wherever it was, and he persuaded Trump that this will be a walk in the park, cakewalk, all of that shit. That happened in private.
What's your percentage that happened?
That happened in private.
What's your percentage
high percentage.
Give me a number, 80%?
80%.
I'm 50-50 that happened.
Okay. You think Trump did it on his own without Netanyahu?
No. I said I'm 50-50, meaning I believe there's a 50% chance because
But you don't deny that behind the scenes, the Israelis are putting pressure on the U.S.
Of course I know.
Okay. So then to come back to your
But
broader
I don't
point,
think he's Bush. I don't think he's Obama. I don't think he's Biden. I don't think he's those guys.
in many ways, he's worse.
No. I don't think
He doesn't have any independent views.
The one thing I know with you, Mehdi, is the fact that no matter what he does, he's not going to get victory from you. We have to put those two.
Again, you can go back on YouTube, rewind an hour. I said if he restrains Netanyahu in Gaza and Lebanon.
You said if.
He won't. I know he won't.
Oh, I understand. But have you ever given him any credit for anything he's done? When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, instead we chose introducing rather intentional.
In the first term, I wrote a piece for The Intercept. I got a lot of shit for it because I said credit where credit's due. He's going to withdraw from Afghanistan. Remember, he laid out that timeline that Biden then got attacked for following. It was a Trump timeline. Pull out of Afghanistan.
He did it. The Biden, the way
Trump
he
would
did
have done it better. Come on. It was always going to be a disaster. No matter how you pull out of Afghanistan.
There was many military personnel said there was better ways to leave.
I don't agree on that. But
many military.
Can I come back to your wider point?
Tell me.
Oh my God, he's showing me. I need to take a shower now. Bravo, Donald Trump is the headline. Rob's too fast. All right, so let me come back to the wider point. Forget Trump.
I always knew. I introduced him properly at the beginning. Big MAGA supporter.
That's 2020, 6 years ago. We all grow, evolve, learn from our mistakes. So the broader point about America and Israel, Iran, to go back to our IRGC point, forget Trump for a moment. Let's just take US foreign policy as a whole. When you say it's Israel, I don't accept that. I think this new thing on the right where you say, Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent, all this line, which is like, America's good, it's bad Israel, make good America. I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying others, it's becoming a very consensus view, which is America's really good, and then evil Israel comes on and makes good America do bad things.
No.
We need to take agency and responsibility. We are the superpower. And when Israel's murdering Iranian nuclear scientists or murdering Iranian diplomats who might do a deal with them, we have to take ownership for that. They don't do that without an American green light. They didn't kill Khamenei without an American green light. They don't do shit without an American green light. So I don't buy this idea that Israel is some rogue force. Going back to the Barak Ravid point about there's all these splits between the president and the prime minister. 9 times out of 10, America and Israel are on the same page. 1 time out of 10, they're on a different page.
Yeah. So
we had moderate presidents in Iran. They got screwed over. Khatami, Rouhani. They got screwed over by Western governments that wouldn't do a nuclear
Israel
deal.
went out and killed the 50 guys. We could have worked together, whatever. They kept, and Trump kept saying, everybody we're negotiating with, they're killing them. Who's they? Who's he saying
And you
they?
think Israel can do that if Trump wanted them to stop? Come on.
No. What I'm saying to you is Israel, when they get their intel, they want to take somebody out. You remember the pagers. They got very good intel. They don't have a problem going and doing what they're doing. I understand Israel's motive.
So do I.
I understand Israel's motive.
But I'm saying they get a green light from the U.S.
I don't think as much under him as others. I do think they're an ally for the Middle East. And I'm not, like, you're a business guy now. You're a capitalist. So one of the things you'll experience, because you're a capitalist, there's nothing wrong. You should be proud of it. You should be, look at the smile on your face. You're making more money than ever before.
It's a good line. It's a good line. It's a good line.
Are you making more money or less money right now?
I'm making more money.
That's good. There's nothing wrong. We should be proud of it.
Did I say that? That's not my definition
But
of
here's where I'm going with this. In the last couple of years since you've been private, how many opportunities have you had to do deals with people?
Many.
When you're on the call, do you know their motives?
No.
Their motives are typically beneficial to who?
Themselves.
Is that something that you and I would be surprised with? No. Why are you here today? Why do I have you on today? It's going to be a good show for us. Why are you on here today? You don't live down the street. You came. There's a motive.
Yes.
Both of us have a motive, so both of us are winning from this exchange that we have. Okay. Understood. In that sense, the way they negotiate, then it goes to who's the better negotiator. Then it goes to who gave up more. Then it goes to all the other stuff that you got to go through, and you got to make adjustments.
Well, Trump is a horrible negotiator, and as Benjamin Netanyahu said, these are Benjamin Netanyahu's words. For 40 years, I've dreamt of attacking Iran. He's the only president who would listen to me. Those are Netanyahu's words.
For 40 years, Trump
Every president said no.
In 1987, he would go and take over Karok Island. He said that in 85. You make it seem like this guy's not an independent thinker.
Well, he's not independent.
Trump said that in 85.
Hold on. He also said, none of us knew they would hit the Strait of Hormuz. None of us knew they would hit the Gulf countries. You idiot. Everyone knew this.
You can't give him credit that he said this 40 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how he got that one thing consistent.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how this one thing he did. I don't know how he came back and
Patrick,
won
you keep asking me to give him credit.
Yeah.
The Iran war, you praise him on day one of the Iran war. Would you accept today it's been an absolute disaster because Donald Trump is not a war leader? He doesn't understand foreign policy. He doesn't understand what he just said this week. I'm bored. You know what he said this week? I'm bored of all this.
Mehdi.
Like a child.
Mehdi, let me tell you what
He's bored. Bro, this guy, he's too funny, bro.
I have a local doctor I want you to go see. He specializes in TDS. And I think you would work very well with him. Over a 6-month period, he'll be able to get rid of your TDS.
I have a guy who's a psychologist, and he deals with cult members.
Yep.
And I think he'll do well with you guys who can't get out of a Trump cult.
See the difference?
That was good. That was fucking perfect.
I asked you, I gave you an opportunity in front of the audience to criticize Trump on Iran. You can't do it.
I will.
It's been a disaster.
Can I tell you?
Please.
The difference between you and I is I will sit there and I'll give credit and I'll criticize.
I'll give him credit. What should I give him credit?
I am more supportive of him than you are.
What should I give him credit
for? Because the longer you're a capitalist, you're gonna want somebody that's pro-capitalism.
The economy is horrific under him.
Because
my business is doing badly because of him.
It's
because of the war? Who started the war? He did.
I take ownership that he started the war.
So when you say give him credit,
can I finish? You're going to allow me to finish my thought?
Please.
Did you give him credit with Venezuela?
No, of course not. Illegal action.
So that's also no.
He broke international law, American law, the Constitution.
So that's a no for you as well.
He killed a
so
grandmother.
Let me ask you a question.
And he brought this guy into a court case that he might lose.
If they take over Cuba, would that be a victory in your eyes? So give it already criticism up front.
You think I'm supporting? You want me to come here to Florida and support imperialism? You support imperialism.
So
you support just invading other countries.
So you go
criminal,
back. You go criminal. Well, how
Yes.
the hell do you think America got so big? What do you think they did? It was an expansionist James Polk ideology of let's go out and buy all these other places.
Was there international law, the UN Charter, the Geneva Conventions at the time?
But you're sitting here complaining about something like this, where you're living in a country. It's because of the byproduct of the visionaries previous to us that they made it what it is today. Why do you feel so safe here?
Bizarre argument.
Why do you feel so
because
safe
we
here?
once
Why do
got
you and I
Alaska,
feel
we
so
should
safe
go
here?
conquer.
Exactly. Very bizarre argument. That's a very scary argument, actually. That means he has in his head that he's superior and he has the right to do this because he is stronger.
Cuba.
No, that's not what I tell you.
Sounds like it.
If they're expanding, I don't mind an expansionist president. I don't.
You
mind
like
it.
imperialism.
I
How
don't
are you
mind-
different to the IRGC?
I don't mind an expansionist.
How are you different to the IRGC? Everyone says.
Everyone
says
Islamic revolutionary
they're
government.
accused.
Everything is above.
They're
God
accused.
tells them what to do,
No,
and
no, no,
Matic
no, no.
that on death upon America.
They're accused of being expansionist, of trying to take over the Middle East. That's the big allegation that the Gulf states make against Iran.
America is fucking extremism also with that fucking Christianity and I don't know, all the kind of different Christianity, even evangelicals. He shouldn't be talking, Patrick David shouldn't be talking about religious radicals because he's representing religious radicals.
And yet you're sitting here saying, but we should take over the Western Hemisphere.
By the way, do you know what I would actually say?
I'm
to
not
you?
imperialist.
Let me ask you a question. You got how many?
Insane that we're having a conversation about
how many
imperialism.
subscribers do you have with your channel right now that are paying you?
On Substack?
On Substack.
I'm not going to say that number.
Let's say it's 100,000 people.
Okay.
There you
But
go.
it's not, sadly.
Okay, but let's just say you have 50 to 100,000 people. You're doing well. You're making good money. Okay. Have you taken any viewership from anybody else?
What do you mean?
Are people watching you that used to watch somebody else on YouTube?
course.
What an expansionist you are.
What
a shameful expansionist cap.
That's the most retarded shit ever. So he's gonna compare fucking online shit with fucking killing, murdering, stealing, pillaging. He's gonna compare that with fucking. That's the fuck. Honestly, I hope this. What's it called? What this is called? His name is Mehdi. I hope Mehdi check him on this because this is the most crazy shit ever, bruh. This guy is talking for Patrick is talking for genocide right there.
I've been with you for 1 hour, 20
Mehdi.
minutes.
This guy's expanding his YouTube channel, but
is-
God forbid anybody else does it.
I've waited an hour, 20 minutes for you to say the dumbest thing with respect, Patrick. That is
I've
not an
noticed
analogy.
every time
that
you
is
say the dumbest
worst
things is when you get
analogy.
cornered. What do you mean you're expanding?
That is the worst
You're
analogy.
expanding.
Did
By the
I
way,
go into the New
you're-
York Times? Hold on. Let's
you're
make your
expanding.
analogy. Did I walk into the New York Times and abduct the editor-in-chief of the New York Times,
Yeah.
put a bag over his head,
Do you have
and
any
take
employees?
him out in
Do you have
order
any
to undermine
employees?
the New York
Do you have any
Times?
employees?
Yes.
How many of them came volunteer? How many of them did you recruit and hire away from another company?
How many of them did I get with a gun and a special forces team?
is not-
You're making a ridiculous analogy.
my
You
goodness.
expand
If-
as a business. That's the same as illegally occupying other people's land.
What la la land are you living in? Like, what do you think happened to this
World
world?
of law.
What do you think happened to this
You
world?
do realize the problem that the MAGA folks have when they say this is you lose any credibility to criticize anyone else. You can't criticize Iran then. You can't criticize Hamas.
And I don't.
You don't criticize Hamas?
No, I don't criticize. If you're able to expand,
So if Hamas goes into Israel, you're for that.
it's not about if I'm for that or not. If you're able to successfully do it, that's your vision. I know I have to defend against it. What do you think companies do? How do you think companies work? What do you think companies are supposed to do?
I think it's insane that
Wait,
you're
wait a minute,
comparing
but I'm-
business expansion
What
to
do you,
us
why
going
do you
around
think
the
we have
world
military?
killing people.
Mehdi, why do you think we have military?
To
For what?
defend ourselves.
Against what?
Threats.
Against
But
another
you
one
wanna
trying
be the
expand.
threat.
I'm not saying that.
You think Cuba's trying to expand right now?
No.
You think Cuba's trying to
you
expand?
think-
Where are they expanding to? Miami?
No.
You've been living in Miami too long.
By the way, maybe
I think you've been drinking too
maybe
much
that's
Miami
their
water
fault.
too
I actually
long.
rarely go to Miami. Maybe that's their fault. Maybe that's their fault.
What's their fault?
Maybe their ideology, communism, created a poor country and their people want
Maybe,
something better.
but that doesn't give us the right to go and take over the country.
How do you think all this stuff happened in history?
Okay, lots of things happened in history that weren't right.
Yeah, but guess
This
what?
is 2026.
Dude, you understand. You've taken market share from other people. Your viewers were somebody else's viewers that came to you.
So you support,
Kudos to you.
So you want just to be clear, you want some kind of law of the jungle where might is right, power.
What do you think the law
No, you're
is?
fine. You're
But
fine.
what do you think
I
the
noticed
law
you don't
is?
answer any question.
No,
it's a very simple question. Yes or no? Do you support a
I'm
law
saying-
of the jungle
what do you
where
think-
might is right?
Do you believe
Is that
in
what you support?
non-compete?
You can't answer a question with a question. You have to answer the question. Do you support a might is right view where law of the jungle, whoever's powerful gets to do what they want?
That's what he's saying. I don't know why people are not listening to what people are saying. That is what he's saying. He's saying eat or be eaten. Either dominate him or he's gonna dominate you. That is his worldview.
I'm trying
Sounds like
to
that's what
find.
you're
No. I'll answer it for you. I'm trying to find out what other law of the land you think we live in. Help me understand.
We have domestic law, we have international law, we have criminal
what
law.
is the
I don't know where you're
what do
living.
you use?
You've been in Florida far too
do you
long.
use ChatGPT or do you use Claude? Which do you use more?
Probably ChatGPT more.
ChatGPT more than Claude? Okay. Do you know when it first started who had the biggest market share?
ChatGPT.
Oh, who do you think's killing it right now?
Claude.
Claude's picking it up. Why?
Because they invaded another country, kidnapped the president.
Because they produced a better product.
And
this
hold
is
on.
why.
Did
Mehdi.
Amade, what's that guy's name? Dario Amade? What's his name?
Yeah.
The guy who runs Claude.
What-
Did he go into Sam Altman's house in the middle of the night,
It's-
take Sam Altman
that's
and his
the-
wife, put bags
that's
on
the-
their heads, and
that's-
fly them back to his compound
Yeah.
and kill a grandmother in
That's
the
only
process?
difference. The only difference is that, but war is
That is the
never-
big difference, Patrick. I can't believe you don't see it.
No, I understand what you're saying in the argument of that, but the reality of it is,
Question.
which
Do
is
you
what?
support a law of the jungle where the might is right? Do you support a world? Do you like living in a world?
Be
Are you
specific.
pro? Do you support the idea of living in a world where powerful countries should be able to do what they want?
Can I ask you a question? What country?
keep answering
But by the
question
way,
with a
but I'll
question.
answer- why do you
You
live in
gotta answer the
America?
question.
Why do you live in America? The most
Because I like
powerful
the
country in
law.
world.
You know what I like
Because
about the
it's
US?
the most powerful.
No.
Go live in Iran.
No.
Go live in Iraq.
I don't live here because it's the most powerful country.
Why do you live here?
Because many reasons.
Give me.
One is it's a country that's governed by laws, principles, free
Great.
speech.
Yes.
I love the First Amendment,
Great.
the Constitution.
Yeah.
I don't favor presidents and people who say we should just break the law because we
I didn't say
can.
break the law.
What do you mean? Taking over Cuba is breaking the law.
If-
UN Charter. That's
if-
the law of the land.
If they come and they try to take over,
Who's coming?
whoever it is, Trump's already talking about it. Rubio's already talking about it.
The Cubans are not taking over anything.
No, Cubans are not taking over anything.
We are launching a war of aggression, like the Nazis. Nuremberg called it. You know what the Nuremberg Tribunal
By the way,
called a war of aggression?
I'm
the
assuming
supreme international war
Is
crime.
it fair to say you were against tariffs on day one?
Yes.
I was for tariffs. Guess what Supreme Court ruled?
Against terror.
Okay, great. Guess what? You adjust.
Okay.
That's what happened. If they go,
You want to live in a world where Trump says F the Supreme Court, and that's what
No,
JD
not-
Vance has said
no,
on the
no,
record.
not at all.
JD Vance
Not
has said
this
this on
guy.
the record. But you just said you
no,
want to
I'm not.
powerful
I'm not.
people
But let me
get to do what they
look.
want.
Let me tell you.
You said it. Everyone
today,
can watch it.
Trump's the president. Okay.
I figured out Pete Patrick David. He's schizophrenic. Pete Patrick David is a schizophrenic. 100% Pete Patrick David is a schizophrenic. He has 3 viewpoints in fucking under 5 minutes. He's a fucking schizophrenic.
A few years ago, Biden was the president. In 2028, AOC could be the president. Newsom could be the president. Rubio could be the president. Somebody else could be the president, right? Every time the opposing side is the president, the opposing side thinks it's the end of the world. What ends up happening to America? What ends up happening?
Bad things.
No, not necessarily. Eventually goes back to normalcy. And it's like, I'm going to go the
I
other.
look at the Trump first term and I see 500,000 people killed from COVID because he couldn't handle a pandemic.
But do you know why, though? Do you know why, though? What protects America the way it does?
I would argue our laws, constitution,
I agree.
principles, history.
I like
and you're saying I want to throw it all out.
No, but
to have an imperialist nation.
If a leader comes in that is a visionary leader that wants to expand and grow, and he can do it within his terms, and Supreme Court and law allows it, I don't mind him doing
First
that.
of all, the Supreme Court law does allow it. Venezuela was unconstitutional. Congress declares war in this country.
Yeah,
not
then if that's the
not
case,
president.
well, we saw that with the 60-day rule with Iran.
He violated that.
I understand that. And they're
What I'm hearing is that Pete Patrick David is getting ready to invade Canada. Pete Patrick David, if he's a man, he's gonna join the American army and put himself where his mouth is, instead of being a weak bitch.
they're working around that right now in different ways.
Forget American law. What about international law? Even if the American Congress votes to attack Cuba, that doesn't make it legal in international law. You can't attack other countries.
Mehdi, let me ask you. If, for instance,
Tomorrow you'll say
innocent
9/11 was
people-
just. Do you support 9/11?
innocent.
Do you support 9/11?
No.
Why?
No,
Al Qaeda could do it. They did it. According to your logic, Al Qaeda had every right
No,
to do it.
there's a difference between me supporting it and then them doing it and then me retaliating to you. Like right now, if you and I were sitting,
But you don't think it was illegal?
do I? Of course, it's illegal.
Why? According to you, it doesn't matter.
No, of course it's illegal.
Also, 9/11 is illegal,
No,
but us attacking Cuba is legal.
I didn't tell you.
I'm trying to follow.
You never heard me say attacking. If they can go and take it over without attacking, and the laws allow it, guess what? I'm for it.
That's a whole different argument.
It's not
if
a whole
the Cuban
different.
people vote in a referendum to become the 51st
don't
state.
spin right now and make it seem like I want to go kill people and take
You
stuff.
defended Venezuela. We
ne-
killed people to get him out.
I never said if. But by the way,
You said give him credit for Venezuela. You did say that.
you don't think that was a good move?
No.
You don't think that was a good move?
I don't believe you. I don't support regime change. I don't support assassinating foreign leaders.
You
What
don't
did George
su-
Washington say? Don't go abroad looking for monsters to display. Was it Adams? I forget.
Yeah.
Founder.
So you don't support what he did. You
I do not support the United States government
Well, I thought that was a
attacking
massive
foreign
victory,
countries
especially the way they did it.
and killing foreign leaders. Even if it has a good outcome, I don't support it because I support laws and principles.
Well, I do also support laws and principles. But if you say you support laws and principles, you're trying to tell me Obama followed everything?
No.
You telling me
He
all these-
violated the law in Libya. I criticized him for
every one of them.
because I'm not in a cult. I criticized Obama in 2011 for doing Libya.
You know what's the difference between you and I and them?
I criticize people on all sides. You don't.
Yeah, we do. We do it as well. But you know what's the difference between you and I and them?
Go on.
What's the difference?
You and I and who?
You and I talking, giving our opinions, and Obama and Trump. What's the difference between you and I and them?
We're not politicians.
They made it into the White House.
Okay.
And so they're going to be able to do whatever they're going to do. You and I can talk about it, give our opinions.
We don't have an imperial presidency. We shouldn't have an imperial presidency.
That's why we have the freedom of speech of giving our opinions.
We also have a vision of America, which is supposed to be a restrained commander-in-chief. The founders came to, we're celebrating 250 years of American history. They came to this country, from where? From my old country, the UK, to get away from a mad king, not to recreate a mad king.
Okay, so we can get past this. I mean, when maybe the next time we'll do a podcast, we'll do it in Cuba or Venezuela, just for the sake of what we'll enjoy ourselves with. Anyways, let me get to the next story with you. By the way, Mamdani, Spencer Pratt, what commonality do you see between the two of them?
Very little.
Very little.
Very little.
Tell me why.
Because I know this is argument that says all of these candidates who make a lot of noise, do well on social media, are similar. But I think people have underestimated what Mamdani is. Mamdani, yes, is charismatic, had a great social media game. I interviewed his team that made his social videos. Great people, smart people. The video he did where he jumped into the water, freezing cold to show freeze the rents. The video he did for halal.
Mamdani or
Mamdani. I'm talking about his campaign was brilliant online. No doubt about it. The halal.
Maybe one of the best.
One of the best, yeah.
Maybe one of the best.
One of the best.
And the guy that
came out of nowhere, 1%.
Yeah,
Only
I agree.
1%.
I agree.
But what happens is a lot of Democrats took the wrong lesson from that. They said, this guy is so good on social media. We got to hire the same people who did his social media campaigns. We got to do video. Did you notice after Mamdani won the primary, suddenly you saw all these congressional Democrats primaries walking down same videos, same cutaways, same, and they think that's how you replicate Mamdani. They misunderstand Mamdani. Yes, the social media game helped him get his message across, helped him get the youth out. But at the core of Mamdani was a very clear message. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare him to Trump right now.
Careful.
I'm going to compare him to Trump. Donald Trump, I asked this question to everyone. I can't get fired. So
you're a capitalist, you're free.
I'm free. 2016, I say this to everyone I talk to about politics. I said, tell me, I say this to leftists, I say this to liberals, I say this to Muslims, I say this to non-Muslims. Tell me what Donald Trump's 3 main policies were in 2016.
What was it?
You tell me, what was his slogan? Do you remember what Donald Trump, what did he run on? When he first ran, what did he run on?
Get rid of these rapists and all this stuff.
Ban Muslims, build a wall. Remember that? That was all his big lines.
Build a wall is one. Yeah.
So we remember all those slogans.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Do you remember what Hillary Clinton's lines were? No.
I'm for her, and that's about it. No. First female president.
But her own slogan. She had a great, 77-page childcare proposal, I'm sure. I'm sure it's better than Trump's. But people don't campaign like that. And I think what Mamdani did is, even now, you ask me, what does our Mamdani run on? Okay, freeze the rents, free buses, free childcare. It was message discipline around a set of policies that people identified with, that helped with this ridiculous affordability crisis, that made him seem like he was in touch. And I think if Democrats only take away, or people in the media only take away from Mamdani that, the guy's slick, he smiles well, Trump loves him, he does great social videos, that's a mistake. I don't think, what's Pratt's main policy platform that's going to get people out for him?
The fires, homelessness.
Everyone says they want to deal with that. That's
but that's because that's
the guy's a reality TV star. I'm not a fan of reality TV stars running for president. I wrote a piece saying Oprah should not run for president years ago. Although I have said Jon Stewart should run in a primary.
Do you think Spencer Pratt stands a chance?
Yes.
He does.
Because America's fucked up right now.
You think Spencer Pratt stands a chance?
Donald Trump is president of the United States twice. I'm never going to rule out anything in this country. I thought Trump wouldn't win in 2016. That's how dumb I was in 2016. That's why I don't do predictions anymore. No, 24. I said he'd win. I said he's going to win. And he's going to be a fascist.
When did you say he'd win in 24?
All of 24. I spent all of 24 warning. Got it. I said get rid of Biden. So I said Carlin needs to change the performance.
You think this is the new era? You think that this is the new era of types of people that run for president? Which before you think general, military, all this stuff.
Yeah,
now
I don't think it's a good thing. And I wrote this piece when they were thinking about Oprah. Do you remember a few years ago people were pushing Oprah Winfrey's name? And I wrote a piece for The Intercept saying, come on, no, let's not go down this road. I do think you need politicians with charisma. And that's why people think of Hollywood stars. That's why someone like I love Jon Stewart. I would love Jon Stewart to run in a primary just to shake things up.
He'd be fun.
I don't think he'd be a great president, but I think him running would just add to the race. But my biggest problem is I take politics seriously. Let's go back to I've been a political journalist for 26 years.
Sport.
I did politics at university. I did politics at high school. I do debate. I take this shit seriously. And it annoys me when, look at Donald Trump. What did he say yesterday? I'm bored. I'm bored of the Iran negotiations. Like a freaking child, right? You cannot have people who are unserious people. Unserious people in charge of our countries.
Have you ever met him, by the way? You've never met?
I've never met Donald Trump, no. No, should I go to White House briefing?
No, I'm just trying to see if you've ever met him.
Should I go to White House briefing and get called on by Caroline Levitt? I got a few questions.
Did you meet Biden?
Did I meet Biden? I'm trying to think. I was in an event with Biden. I don't think I met him.
Obama?
No, he was before my time. I arrived at the end of his presidency.
Did you
I was in a room with him. I interviewed a lot of his people, Ben Rhodes, a lot of people around.
Not him?
Not the president.
Okay,
the president gave me an interview, then I wasn't out. Yeah, no.
Got it. Surprised you've never met Trump.
No.
Would you want to meet him?
I'm a journalist. How would I want to meet him? I'd love to interview.
What would you ask him? What 3 questions would you ask him? You sat with him. What do you ask him?
I mean, I'd only get 3 because he'd walk out after 3.
You think he would?
Oh, he's super thin-skinned.
You think he would?
Look, he gets upset with I regard American interviewers to be softball interviewers. I'm from the UK where we do tough interviews. My biggest criticism of the American media is weak-ass interviews. Nora O'Donnell barely asked him anything the other day. The guy had a meltdown. He's like, you're so rude.
American interviewers are fucking children, man. They're bullshit.
You're so rude. You're so disgusting. He just can't handle. He's got such a thin skin. He's the whiniest leader we've ever had.
If I'm not mistaken, he asked about the guy's letter that had to do with rape and pedophilia and something like that. She started with, and you could tell she was nervous when she asked the question.
This is CBS. This is now in the can for Trump. Let's not forget. This is the guy who says, be quiet, piggy, to reporters. He can't handle tough questions.
What do you ask him? You got 3 questions. What do you ask him?
I would ask him, I wouldn't ask him opinion questions. It annoys me when people say, what do you think, Mr. He loves that shit. I would ask him fact questions about what is happening in the world. I would ask him, it depends on the day, right? If I'm interviewing him right now, I would say to him, you said, my opening question would be, you said a few weeks ago that people say Donald Trump's going to get bored of this war. I don't get bored, you said. And yesterday you said, I'm bored of this war. How do you explain that? That would be my first question.
What else?
I would say to him, are are you out of your depth in this conflict? And I would give it the evidence as to why he's out of his depth and ask him to deal with each of those examples. For example, the Strait of Hormuz, for example, the Gulf countries. I also wouldn't be able to resist having some fun. I always think someone should ask Donald Trump. I would love for someone at a White House briefing to stand up and ask something that completely exposes this man's pig ignorance of the world. I would love someone to stand up and say, Mr. President, when will you be going to Wakanda? They are building a Trump Tower there and they love you in Africa. And he would say, I love them too. Because he doesn't know that Wakanda is a fictional country.
You think he would say that?
110%.
You think he would say that?
I would pay money to any White House correspondent watching. They get fired on the spot by the network.
It's obvious. Do you put him as an intelligent man? You put him
What's the
as
definition?
If anyone did that, bruh, make a fucking collection. I would put money for that too, bruh. Damn, bruh, I would put 1,000 for just make a collection. Bruh, that fucking collection box, it would be fucking 10 of millions, bruh. God, that would be hilarious.
Depends how you define intelligence.
Well, how do you-
Like street smart, getting ahead, getting his way? Yeah,
Sure.
Sure. He wouldn't be able to get where he got to.
He's probably not a well-read guy in your eyes.
That's an understatement. I
Yeah.
think he's one of the most ignorant people I've ever come across. You seen the latest stuff? He keeps being like, I call them Democrats. You have to take the B off of dumb. Most people don't know that dumb has B on it. No, most people do know that. You probably just discovered that there's a B on dumb. You know, there's a Trump tick. I watch him so much. Whenever he says most people didn't know this, it means he just discovered something himself 2 minutes ago.
You literally think he just discovered how to spell dumb?
I know it. And talk to the people who worked with him. We're second-term Trump out there. I don't have to make this stuff up.
Yeah.
Dozens of people have now left the administration, have told their stories, and it's all the same thing. The guy is an egomaniac. The guy is vain. The guy is dumb. The guy changes his opinion based on the last person he spoke to.
This is a guy that won in business. This is a guy that
He didn't
won
win in
media.
business.
This
5
is a
bankruptcies in a row. You're more successful than he is.
This is a guy that took a show
In
from
business.
0 to
He's not
1,
Steve
15
Jobs,
years.
for
This is the
God's
guy,
sake.
dude, the guy won presidency 2
Apprentice?
times.
I give you Apprentice.
2
I
times.
give you Apprentice. Great reality TV
Yeah,
star.
2 times.
Great. I'm not going to question his ability to run a reality TV star. I'm questioning his ability to run America.
How do you think about his kids? You give him compliment as a parent, as a father?
No. Have you read the stories
You
about
don't think
his
he's a
children?
good father? Why do you think his kids love him?
You think the kids love him?
You don't think they do?
I mean,
Why
if you
do
read
think
some
they
of
all
the
the
if you read some of the tabloids, well, money and power can be
That's
great.
the only reason. I
Well,
know a lot of billionaires
again,
have kids don't want to be around him.
if you read the New York tabloid press that Trump was very friendly with, the kids didn't like him when he was young. They were annoyed that he was cheating on their parents, his respective mothers. Things changed. There's stories about him allegedly. It's denied.
we
There's
go.
stories about allegedly him, slapping Don Jr. at college in front of his friends, and all sorts of stories. I don't know if they're true or not, but this is what's reported. Tiffany Trump, he never
Coming
talks about.
from a Muslim and a Middle Eastern dude, what did our parents do to us when we were kids? Did you ever get slapped?
Yes, of course.
Dude, are you like, you and I don't have the permission to say anything with that, so we got to change the subject.
Withdraw that.
Yeah, withdraw
He didn't go to his son's. He didn't go to his son's wedding so he could do troll posts about Ro Khanna.
I don't think he didn't go to the wedding because they had to go back for the war and everything that was going on.
Come on, question. Great.
When it comes down to Muslims, 2020 vote to 2024.
I love you.
period.
You did whatever you did.
Hang
You came
on,
back to Muslims. Why are you obsessed with Muslims?
You like
Because you left
stats.
Iran?
I want to give
No,
you
I want to know
stats.
why you're obsessed with
I
Muslims.
want to give you stats.
You know there was a terrorist attack on a mosque recently.
I want to give
Did
you
that bother you?
I want to give you stats.
Did that bother you?
Can I, Mehdi, invite me to your show.
Oh, I'm inviting you off
so
this
here we go.
show.
So
You've all heard it. He said to invite him, Rob. You heard it. Everyone on YouTube heard it. I'm inviting you to
Okay,
a show.
so here we
A lot
go.
of questions.
2020, Biden had 69% of Muslim votes.
Yes.
Trump had 24%. 2025, Kamala dropped the Democrat vote from 69 to 50%. Trump went from 24 to 31%.
Yeah.
Third party got 12% and increased by 9%. Why did Muslims become Republicans?
Gaza.
Gaza.
There are other issues too. The bathroom transgender issue in places like Michigan. A lot of conservative Arab Muslims didn't like that.
Yep.
They don't like that was happening even before Gaza. No doubt about that. But it was still a kind of fringe issue. What made it an issue in the Muslim community?
the LGBT.
Yeah, like there were conservative Arab communities in Dearborn who were like,
And
we
I'm
don't want
glad
this.
you brought that up.
We don't want this. And they brought that up. That was
Yep.
before Gaza. There's no debate that some were shifting already to the Republican Party.
Sure.
But they were a tiny minority. The vast majority of Muslims still voted. Democrats still supported, still understood. The Republican Party is an Islamophobic, white supremacist adjacent party
You
right
think
now.
number
Has
one
Randy
reason
Fine in
is,
it.
you think number one reason why they vote the other
Gaza,
side is because of Israel?
10 miles.
Okay.
Gaza. No, not Israel. The Gaza genocide. You have to understand, I spoke to a lot of these people. I traveled through
Yep.
all these communities in 2024.
Yep.
And I tried to point out, yes, Biden and Harris are complicit in a genocide. No one's defending the Democrats. I was very critical of the Democrats and what they did between 2023 and 2024. But Trump will be worse or as bad. He's not going to be better. And people bought the Trump shtick. No, he's anti-war. He didn't start any new wars. He's not interested in the Middle East. He's friends with MBS. He's friends with Erdogan. It's going to be great. I met Palestinians who told me Trump will be better on Gaza. He's transactional president. They bought that shit. Look at him now. Look how many Arab countries have been bombed. But Muslims were not voting for Trump as a whole. You mentioned third party too. Jill Stein picked up a lot of votes in some places. Not as many as people thought she would.
12%.
Of Muslim votes, yes.
Yeah.
So in certain places. So but
Majority was like
my bigger,
2%,
but my bigger picture is every time I said to someone, Trump is going to be worse than Harris, they said legitimately to me, but we have to punish the Democrats. That was the line. We have to punish the Democrats. They can't be seen to get away with a genocide. And when you say Kamala dropped it to 50, well, Joe Biden dropped it to 50. Harris kept it at 50 by not distancing herself from Biden. Her biggest single mistake was going on The View.
No, honestly, I think he's very wrong in this view. If Kamala got the power, the media system would be working so good. She would know what to say. She would know how to react. She would not slip up in speeches. She would not slip up in front of journalists. She would not speak her mind. Bruh, listen, he's not right on this view. It's not correct. Kamala would be so much better, professionally trained for APAC that, listen, Trump would be looking, what Trump has done, it would be looking like fucking kids shit. Honestly, it would be looking like nothing, bro. Honestly.
And my friend Sunny Hostin said to her, what will you do differently to Joe Biden? And she said, nothing. And the minute she said that, I knew she's lost. And that was it. Until then, I had some hope. She could beat him. She was leading in the polls after the
Is this
convention.
the worst candidate you've ever seen on the left? In our lifetime. This is your sport.
I don't think she's as bad as people thought she was. I think she was definitely handed a
Who's
poison
been
chalice.
worse than her on the left?
Who's ever had a 100-day campaign? Like she got a
107
shitty legacy. Let's just be fair to her.
So pretty much, Biden, what did he do? He supported Israel. He fucking he blocked all the videos. He fucking did all the shit. I even think he was the one to put American troops into Palestine and the Gaza Strip. So, if she didn't want to change anything, it would mean that pretty much Americans would be there and be in war and fighting for the Israelis. So, I think Mehdi, he's wrong in this because if you really analyze it, she would be worse. Much worse, honestly. Much, much worse. But Trump, like he said, he's bored of it. He don't give a fuck about it. He just want to be remembered to make money for the Americans. And he will get bored with this war, and after that he will be like, anything to do with these Zionists and war, he will be fuck off. Wait and see. Listen, people's psychology is not that much different. There's not so many psychologically groups, you know. People are pretty much the same. Kamala, she would be worse. Trump is gonna get bored with it. He already is. Maybe a year more, but nah, bruh. Kamala, she would go all the 4 wars, all the 4 years, fully included in this war. And if she won again, she would go 4 more years. There would be 8 years of war.
Right? If we're going to be fair, we should be fair that she got a shit. Joe Biden should not have been in the race until July of 2024.
No,
that was insane.
I'm with you on that one.
She then got
You saw when
coronated.
Joe Biden came out and said, you know,
What a load of bullshit from Joe Biden. She's like, oh, I thought he had a stroke that night. No, you didn't.
and then the video says, oh, Joe, you did so good.
Yeah,
Your
we saw
answer
you that
every-"
night.
Yeah.
If you thought you had a stroke, why didn't you call the White House doctor? Bullshit, but rewriting of history. I did a video that night after the debate in my basement, in my home studio. I got attacked for it by some people saying Biden needs to stand down. It's ridiculous. And I still think Trump should stand down. He's also got mental issues. But Harris was a good candidate for a very short period. She had all this momentum. You know, the honeymoon period. Americans love rehabilitation. You give somebody a chance. She comes in, she gets a boost. She runs this, I'm joy. Remember that? Goes to the convention. I was at the convention. It felt like a freaking party. I remember a member of Congress was there.
As if it's already done.
Democratic member of Congress said to me, this is bad. We have not won. This is way too early. There's a member of Congress said this to me, a lefty. And I remember sitting there watching, oh, Beyonce's going to be here. It wasn't Beyonce, it was fucking Leon Panetta. But anyways, bizarre. We come out of that convention and then she starts tacking to the right. She starts saying all this shit about, what was it? Oh, they were shutting down Lena Khan, the antitrust stuff. She had Mark Cuban, Liz Cheney campaigning for her. She campaigned more with Liz Cheney than with AOC and Bernie, right?
By the way, that was horrible move.
Insane.
Horrible
It
move.
didn't win over anyone.
Did you think that was a good idea?
No, I said at the time. At the time, I said these people are not going to switch over. Olivia Troy, who's a good friend of mine, former Trump official turned never Trumper. She was part of that, and she admits now. I've interviewed her. She says, "Yeah, we tried, but we thought there'd be like this massive conservative women that would come over."
How much
and
money did they raise? 2.1. What was the number? 1.5 billion or 2. That's a big number.
It was a lot.
Yeah. But so you
But she also had her brother-in-law, by the way. There's a lot of reporting that suggests Kamala's brother-in-law, her sister's husband, I think Tony West is his name, big Uber lobbyist. He was pushing her to drop all the affordability, good stuff, drop the ad. There was poll testing
some
done.
controversy with him as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
Tony
know.
West,
But the affordability agenda that she dropped, she should have gone economic populist, right? She did not go economic populist. Instead, she campaigned with a billionaire and with a war criminal. And I think that was a huge problem. And then she went on The View and said, no change. This is a change election. You can't go to change elections. I'm not doing anything different from the guy who's going out. It was just...
So you think, okay, so go to 28.
But she could have won, by the way. He didn't win a landslide. Trump lied his ass off.
What do you mean she could have won? She lost every single state, 7
If
states.
you looked at the numbers, in the 3 key swings...
She helped more counties become Republican in America.
If you looked at the numbers, if 115,000 people had voted differently, she would be president. That's what it came down to in our ludicrous system. She lost by 1.5 percentage points. He got one of the narrowest wins in modern American history. You know that, right? I know he lies, and people like you give him credit. He lies. He says, I won a landslide. He won one of the worst. You can pull it up, Rob. I wrote a piece for The Guardian with all the
every
receipts.
county became more Republican in America.
Pull up my piece.
Every
Guardian,
county
2024, Mehdi landslide. Type it out.
Can you please send this chart to this man here?
Pull it up.
He's the Muslim
We got
community
Mehdi Hasan
becoming
in the
more
Guardian.
Republican,
Patrick,
which is great.
Will you give me permission to read your screen?
Go for it.
Can we scroll down?
Yes.
This is a great moment for me, taking over your show. Scroll down. Keep going. Stop. So, the former president's margin of victory over Harris is a minuscule 1.6 percentage point. Actually, it's 1.5. It went down after that. Smaller than that of every winning president since 1888, other than JFK and Richard Nixon. In fact, in the 55 presidential elections in which the popular vote winner became president, listen to this. Oh, your viewers are getting some good facts today. 49 of those 55 elections were won with a margin bigger than Donald Trump's in 2024. I hope the president is watching your show. I know he's a friend of his. He's coming to the show.
Can you do me a favor?
Donald Trump, you lost.
Can you show
You won with a
how many
49
counties?
Who gives a
this
fuck about
guy
counties?
won?
I'm showing you the margin of victory.
Dude, Mehdi,
He won by
if there is
1.5.
anybody
You can raise your
that
voice,
has
but I've already done my
If there's
receipts.
anybody that has
I'm
no
good. I'm
room
done.
to say say anything. Look at this
My
here.
receipts are up.
Look at this here.
Oh,
You
Patrick,
run away.
I
Look
love
at this here.
You know, land
He
doesn't vote.
converted Muslims
Patrick,
into Republicans.
Patrick, you know, land doesn't vote. I love these. I love these maps. That's land.
You showed a stat.
Land doesn't
that-
vote.
Dude,
I gave you the numbers.
Muslims voted for him. Muslims voted for him. No. Muslims went from 24% for
I'm
Trump in
not denying.
2020 to 31%.
Patrick, I'm
He's
not on the
winning
right.
your people over.
Patrick, and it kills me. Patrick, I'm not on the right. I'm not an election denier. Donald Trump won, but he didn't win 50% of the vote. You know, people say he won the popular vote. You know, he didn't win a majority of the votes. He's running 3 elections.
I know that. But
you know, he's run 3 elections.
You know
And he's
who's
never
the
won a
last
majority
Republican
of
that
the
has?
George W. Bush.
Yeah, it's the last one that did it. It's not a. That's not like a. Oh my God, he didn't win the majority. You know.
But he hasn't. But he brags and says he does.
Yeah, but-
He's never won a majority of the vote. Today he's polling in the 30s. He's lost. By the way, he's lost all that support from Latinos, young people, and Muslims. You accept that, right? That coalition he put together is gone now.
Yeah. So this is the part where guys like you come out and they'll say what they'll say.
They'll say facts.
Did you see Did you see his endorsement? How they did? Did you see his
Which
endorsement? How they did? Everybody he picked. Did you see how many of them won?
Oh, in the primaries.
Yeah. Did you see?
Great news for Democrats.
Great
That's the
news. Tell me
you
why.
think-
Tell me
you think
why.
James Talarico wants to run against Paxton or Cornyn?
I'm actually curious. Tell me why.
Oh, he picks horrible candidates. Remember, what was the Georgia candidate? They should have won Georgia and they lost. Who did they put up? Herschel Walker. Remember that? Remember Herschel
that I
Walker?
remember.
The dude
Good
in
running back.
Alabama?
He had a hard time speaking
Remember the
about
dude in Alabama who was accused of child molestation that he denied? I can't remember his name. Alabama guy from his first term. He backed him. He
Talk
lost.
about now.
He picks.
Talk about
he
now.
picks bad candidates. Why would you back
117.
Paxton?
117.
Yeah, but why would you back Paxton? Let's just talk about the main.
Tell me why you. So you like establishment candidates?
Not
Like
about
Cornyn, 40 plus years.
I hate John Cornyn. I hate Ken Paxton. But
It
who
looks
do you
like
want to
you're-
run against? I want the Democrats to win the Senate, obviously, to save democracy.
So you think Talarico does better with Paxton than he does with Cornyn?
You don't?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
No, I ask you.
I 100% think he's
That he's gonna do better.
Well, the polls show he's doing better.
Yeah.
I mean, just trust the polls. He's leading the
So you think his by the way, do you guys in your family celebrate Pride Month?
Do we celebrate Pride Month?
Yeah, I mean, it's
what does
Pride
that
Month.
mean?
I'm just asking, like, do you have a way of celebrating Pride Month?
What the fuck is that kind of question, bro? That was the stupidest question ever.
Because Talarico.
Personally, but I support people who do. Did you see Mamdani yesterday?
No.
Interesting couple of posts. You know,
What do you
he was like
say?
Muslim Sharia, he's
What
an
do you say?
extremist.
What do you say?
People on your side. 9 a.m. he posts Happy Pride Month, Mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Midday, Happy Eid, hosted Eid at Gracie Mansion. That's modern America. People that want to make this guy into some kind of extremist. You guys on your
You
show,
think-
I see
you
you getting
think
worked up about
Talarico-
prayers in New York.
you
This
think-
guy, Zoran
You
Mamdani.
think okay, so by the way, I think Talarico's formidable. It's not like I don't think he's formidable. I think he's a very good communicator. I think he's to be honest with you, I think he's a better version of Pete Buttigieg. I think he's a better version of Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
I think he's got a bigger upside than Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
So I think
he's very talented.
I think he's very
interviewed him once.
talented.
I want to interview him again. He's a very, very good talker. His policies are good. Texas is difficult. My wife is from Texas. I spent a lot of time in Texas. I'm under no illusions. It's a difficult state to win, but it's not as red as Republicans want you to believe.
Not
And-
anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
And I think that they could have probably won with Cornyn, but I think now it's in play. And you have to ask, what is Donald Trump's political strategy? You know, Patrick, that every Republican senator is pulling their hair out wondering, what the hell did Donald Trump do here? He's now put the Senate in play in a way it wasn't in play before. Because even if Paxton wins Texas, they have to divert a bunch of resources from other states, which need them more to protect him. That's the problem, strategically.
For Paxton or Talarico?
For the Republicans trying to save their Senate majority, they're going to have to divert resources.
You know how much
defend
money they're going to
Texas.
spend on this?
Yeah, but it could have been spent elsewhere.
We're going to see the money going there in ways we've never seen
But it could have been
before.
spent elsewhere.
Could be. I mean, that's the
They've
part
got a tough
about
race in Michigan. They've got a tough race all over.
By the way, just out of curiosity.
They're losing in North Carolina.
I'm curious what you're going to say with this. So out of curiosity, you have two people to choose as a candidate. One is a hardcore Republican, capitalist, pro-Trump guy who's a Muslim. Second one is a hardcore socialist, progressive, liberal who is a Christian. Which do you vote for?
Obviously, I vote for the person whose values and policies I support. I don't vote based on religion.
So you would vote for the second person
Of course.
because the values and principles.
Of course. I don't vote based on religion. Mehmet Oz ran against John Fetterman. He would have been the first Muslim senator. If Abdul al-Sayed pulls it off in Michigan, he will be the first ever Muslim member of the United States Senate in American history.
Yeah, we've
This
never
year.
had one.
Never had one.
Yeah.
Mehmet Oz
We had
could have
5 congressmen.
Mehmet Oz could have been the first
But he
Muslim
would have been a
senator.
Republican.
Exactly. And his policies were horrible.
So for
His
you,
fealty to
that's a no-go.
Yeah, because I don't care. It would be nice to say, hey,
policies
I'm Muslim.
over
Of
faith.
course. But then, by the way, who did I back against him? Literally the worst Democratic senator he turned out to be John Fetterman. But let's put that to one side. But Mehmet Oz, yeah, I don't vote on religion. I think it's crazy if people vote on religion. You shouldn't vote on religion.
Okay, so
Muslims shouldn't vote for Muslims. Jews shouldn't vote for Jews. Christians, you should vote based on your policy platform, the principles and values.
Do you think we'll have
Muslims are not a monolith. I don't agree with all Muslims. You just mentioned some of them who vote for
Yeah.
Trump.
Do you think long term America will be at a point where we'll have a Muslim governor or a Muslim president?
Muslim governor, I hope. Maybe Mamdani. He can't be president, right? So where does he go next? After
He could
mayor?
be governor.
He could be governor. He could be senator. Right? He can't go anywhere else. Secretary of State, whatever it is.
yeah.
He can't be president. Sadly,
Not even VP, right? VP, you can't
No,
even be
because you have
VP.
to be.
So Speaker of the House, you could be though. I think that if he chooses to go that route.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that because
you pull that up?
Speaker of the House is third in line to the
I
presidency.
think you could be Speaker.
But then what if the president?
I know,
God
on
forbid,
the
dies?
same plane, but that's why they're not on the same flight when they go. You'll notice some of the stuff that they do.
Well, I don't know the answer to the question. If you're ineligible for the presidency, can you be in the
Yes, the
presidency?
Constitution does not require the Speaker of the House to be born in the U.S.
But
so-
it means they would have to skip past the speaker if something happened.
Yeah, it would go to
Okay.
somebody else.
So he could run for Congress, be speaker, he could be whatever. So, but to come back to your question, yes, Muslim governor, I think hopefully very soon.
Yeah.
Inshallah, as Joe
Inshallah.
Biden might say. And president, I don't think for a while. Look, let's first get a woman president. This country's so behind the rest of the world. We haven't had a woman leader. Pakistan's had a woman leader. Bangladesh has had a woman leader. Most European countries have had a woman leader. America still needs to do that basic thing.
What do you, your thoughts on, a lot of people in America, you got things that's happening in Texas with that one city, what is it called? Epic City or something like that in Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
What do you say to some conservatives that are worried about Sharia law making it into America?
I would say, please do not worry. You're being lied to. You're being gaslit. You're being distracted. This is a fake moral panic that's been blown
Because
up.
it'll never happen or because Sharia law is not that bad?
Because it's not two different things. Number one, Sharia law is not what you think it is, but that we can park that for discussion for a moment. I'll come to that. It's not happening. There's nobody I know who's pushing Sharia law in this country. It's completely fake, and it's being pushed in ridiculous places, not just Texas, Oklahoma, Indiana. Did you see the Lieutenant Governor of Indiana said recently, we need to hate Islam. It's a demonic religion, right? And I'm going to fight radical Islam. Do you know what the population, Muslim population of Indiana is? Less than 1%. Like, this is ridiculous fear-mongering.
It has 3x the U.S., I think, in the last 26 years, if I'm not mistaken. Muslim population.
But it's still
not Indiana.
But it's even nationwide. What is it? 1 to 2%.
I want to say 4.5 million.
Which is
yeah, you're right. It's 1 or 2%. But by the way, you're 3x in 26 years. Okay. It's not like you're not doing a good job. You're growing.
We're growing. Elon Musk wants people to have more kids. But my point being is, it's not going to happen. But also, a few things. Number one, please let's not talk in this demonizing way about Muslim communities being a threat to you, because it has real-world consequences. We just saw in San Diego, a mosque was attacked by 2 Nazi teenagers who shot and killed 3 people, including the security guard, who had 8 kids. Police say he was a hero, saved 100 kids in that mosque, in the school, right? Murdered by 2 guys. Do you read their manifesto? I don't like reading the shooters' manifestos.
I read the whole thing.
Some of the lines in there are crazy. They say, you know what they say?
Towards everybody.
You know, towards everybody. Jews, women, Muslims, gay. But the line about Muslims is really scary, because they say, we don't hate Muslims. We hate Islam. We hate the invasion of our country. That is rhetoric that you hear in right-wing media. That is rhetoric that you hear in the House of Representatives. That is what you hear from Randy Fine. That is what you hear from Republicans. That is what you hear in America. So that is not just some Nazi shooter. That is mainstream rhetoric that has been mainstreamed on the right, and has real-world consequences. If you say, I've seen some of your shows, you've talked about Muslims praying in Times Square, that being some kind of threat. I would say just have a sense of what the real-world consequences of our rhetoric can be. Words have consequences. Crazy people out there can pick up weapons and think Muslims are coming to take over my country.
You know, I would tell you, I've interviewed a lot of weird people on my podcast. A lot. You tell them I'll have them on. I don't have a problem talking to them. I had a great conversation with Wes Moore.
Yeah.
What was it, 5 weeks ago? I've had mobsters on, Sammy DeBull. I've had Kobe on. I've had, many different people on. You know what's the only one that brought so many death threats? Bibi was the only one. I've had a lot of people on.
Okay.
Multiple presidents. We did a podcast with Bibi. I've never told this story publicly, so they'll know. It was on my birthday, and I come out of the podcast. My security says, there's a guy in the front lobby that just got caught with cops with grenades. I said, this is a terrible joke here, because everybody always tried to prank me for my birthday, and I always catch people. Like, they're trying to surprise me. I'm like, listen, this is not the right way to do it. He says, I'm not laughing. This is an 18 Delta guy. And I said, really? He says, yeah, look at the front gate. So I go to the front gate. I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute. What is that? Cops everywhere. Guy shows up. I'll show you the pictures afterwards. With grenades, with weapons, with guns that came in here. And the number of death threats that we started getting afterwards, insanity, just for having Bibi.
Dare I ask, what was the guy's background? Do we know?
I couldn't tell you. I know he went away. I know they took his weapons away. I'll show you a couple texts.
Was he quote unquote far right? Was he quote unquote Islamist? Do we know what his ethnicity was?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know that. I have no idea what that was. But the point is, the threat started increasing only after Bibi. So here's the part. When you say that, I think that applies to both sides.
I agree.
If you think about like who in the
100%.
history of America has had more assassination attempts as a president, where do you think that's coming from? He's a fascist, Hitler, this, that.
But he deals it out. He's the one who started the threats and the violence.
I'm not going to sit here and apologize for him.
He calls his opponents Nazis.
He's called a lot of people a lot of things.
He called Biden a Nazi.
But the guys, after how many times they called him, he couldn't get anything right. When he was coming up, the media was.
Come on, in 2016, he suggested the Second Amendment people should take care of Hillary Clinton. Come on, I have a longer memory. But let me come back to what I was saying. I agree with you. We need it across the board. I don't think we should have political violence. I don't support political violence on any end. I don't justify going after capitalists or anyone else. I'm against violence. So I'm saying to you, for example, you did a show recently, or not recently, I looked it up because I knew we were going to talk about Islam here. You have a show on YouTube called Islam's Hidden Threat to the West. You have another headline, Will Muslims Run America in 30 Years? Now, I know you like to host good faith discussions and debates, but you have to understand, if people get this in their feeds and their social media all the time, are you telling me that people are not going to start, if they hear Micah Beckwith of Indiana say Islam is a demonic religion, and then they hear guests on your show saying Islam's a threat to the West, and they hear Randy Fine saying Sharia law is taking over America, you don't think 2 Nazi teenagers with guns are going to go, well, I'm going to go deal with this mosque down my street? You're telling me there's no link between that?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say there's no link between that. Of course,
we have to be careful. Let's not. We know that demonizing minority communities. Look what happened to synagogues. I would say the same thing about the Jewish community. We have to be careful about our criticism of Israel, so it doesn't lead to attacks on Jews.
The question becomes, for me, it's all on data. Meaning, if you live in my community, you make it safer, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If you come in, you create jobs, I'm all for it. If you come in, you assimilate, you love America, I'm all for it. If you come in, you don't contribute.
Yeah.
You take advantage of the programs that we have. You don't want to create jobs. Where's the incentive? Why are we bringing
That's a different argument. We can have that argument. It is. I'm talking about incitement. When you say Muslims are they going to run America in 30 years? Of course not. We're tiny. We're 1% of the population.
I don't think so. No,
when you say Islam is a threat to the West, oh come on, 1% of the population.
By 2050, you guys are going to be the biggest population in the world. You guys make 2.9.
Not in America. Not in America. Okay? We're not even going to be.
Oh, look,
the numbers, Rob. What are we going to be in 2050?
The difference between you and I is, I think long term.
And even by the way, if we do grow as a community, even that, this is. I'm sorry to go back to World War II and the Nazis, but look at the rhetoric that Nazis used about Jews in 1920s, 30s. These people are aliens. They are parasites. They're leeching off our state. The rhetoric is it's very similar. When I listen to Andy Ogles and I listen to Chip Roy and I listen to Randy, yes, you know how I know she loves America.
Ilhan Omar loves America.
You don't?
Absolutely not.
She absolutely loves America. You know how I know she loves America?
Tell me.
Because she came to America. She decided to run for office. When she ran for office, she ran as a lefty who devotes her life to trying to improve people's lives. She wants healthcare for everyone. She wants healthcare for every Trump voter watching this show.
Saying she is eventually going to return to her country and contribute to her country. She's only doing this to advance her country.
This is bullshit. It's
her words. Pull up the video.
Listen to me.
Pull up her video. It's her words. I just showed you Sam Piker, and you're like, I've never seen.
Let me say this to you.
Go ahead.
Donald Trump has made more anti-American remarks than Ilhan Omar. If we're going to go down who loves America, she loves it more than Trump does. She did insider insurrection.
Ilhan Omar loves America.
100 times more.
100
times.
I'm so glad the audience can see that Ilhan Omar loves America more than Trump.
Well, one person incited attack on our democracy. One didn't. One tried to undermine American democracy, one didn't.
Well-
one pardoned 1,600 people who attacked America, one didn't.
What happened with her finances? Where did the $30 million network come from out of nowhere?
So now,
it was an accounting error.
Hold on.
Stay on. Don't go Trump. But
I am going to do
Don't
that.
do it about
Because
Trump.
your argument now is if you're, first of all, I don't want to get into rights and wrongs of politicians' finances. You're telling me Republican congressmen are not
Oh,
corrupt?
you're doing it about, okay, guys.
No, I'm just wondering.
Forgive Ilhan.
I'm just wondering because
I have this line.
No, because
Ilhan Omar amended a congressional financial
what's that got to do with
disclosure.
loving America? You're telling me people's finances don't have. Donald Trump is the most corrupt politician in modern American history. You said he loves America.
Donald
Trump is the most corrupt politician in America.
That's your opinion, guys.
He just made $3 billion. No, it's not.
In your
okay,
eyes.
Rob, pull up the numbers. Pull up the numbers, Rob. Forbes magazine. How much money did Donald Trump's net worth go up by last year?
Let me ask you,
$3 billion.
Just out of curiosity.
$3 billion. How do you make that?
Are you going to go?
How do you make $3 billion while president?
Are you going to go and show the same? Wait a minute. If you're going to allow me to rebuttal,
you always rebut with a question.
Are you going to? You've been doing it. All you do is yabba yabba. You're a professional yabba.
I said Ilhan loves America.
Just out of curiosity.
You're the jumper guy. We're talking about who loves America. Now we're talking about.
Are you also going to go?
Look at that line, Patrick. Look at that line. Rob is good.
Can I show you something?
You know you said capitalists expand, Rob. If you're ever looking for a job, my friend.
Yeah, everybody's been trying. So if you go back here, then what's your argument if you say, look, no, stay on that, Rob. Stay on that.
Listen, Rob, he's getting headhunted, bruh. After this shit, it was Rob, he just gotta fucking use this episode as his job resume, bruh. God damn, bruh.
No. Then what do you say? His first presidency, he lost so much money. Did you ever say that? You never said that. Because that doesn't add to your argument.
I've always said the second term is the term where he's got no guardrails, he gets to do whatever he wants.
No, but his first term, he lost money.
Okay, but the second term.
What about a second term? Market's gone up. He's made money. Market's gone up. Have you made more money in the last 18 months
from markets? Do you know what happened on January 19th? The day before he became president, inaugurated?
Tell me.
The Emiratis put $500 million into his crypto fund. You think that was the market going up? They gave a $500 million bribe to Donald Trump. $187 million went straight into Trump bank accounts. Ilhan Omar can work for the rest of her life, do whatever, she'll never make $187 million. Trump made that in one day from the Emiratis. If Biden or Hunter Biden had done it, you'd be up in arms. Now, back to the topic of who loves America.
You said Ilhan Omar loves
yes.
I'm so
I'll
glad
tell your
you're going
viewers
to be
here.
judged quoted for that.
Please quote me. Let me finish the quote.
And then let's go back to
finish the
Islam as
quote. I will. Ilhan Omar has spent her political career trying to get free lunches for every American child, including the children of MAGA voters. Donald Trump has spent his presidency taking away Medicare, taking away healthcare from people, taking Medicaid away from people. So yes, Ilhan Omar loves Americans more than Donald Trump loves Americans. By the way, when she was threatened by Trump supporter who tried to kill her, he went to prison. Tried to kill Ilhan Omar in 2019. She went to the sentencing and she asked for a sentence to be reduced to give him grace. I can't imagine Donald Trump doing that.
Do you know
I do think Ilhan Omar is someone who has actually a very good role model.
Do you know how many?
I wouldn't have done that.
Do you know how many endless stories there are of what Trump's done behind closed doors for people? Do you know how many?
Yes, and do you know how many of them are? Do you know how many of them are him screwing people over? Do you know what he did to his niece? Do you know what he did to a baby in his family?
This is all you're gonna. This is your hit piece, just going on him right now.
I mean, you're doing positive. I'm doing negative. Is that the point?
You're building up You're building up Ilhan. Like if there's anybody,
there's no comparison.
Anyone
who knows Ilhan Omar says she's a good person. All of her friends, Donald Trump. Everyone who knows Donald Trump says he's a horrible person.
Investigation into it right now.
Why did no one in Donald Trump's cabinet endorse Donald Trump for president? Second time.
What is the investigation?
Why did his vice president not endorse him for president?
You know how he is, though. He's a guy that he's a team of rivals.
They hate him.
Why did he come back? Why did he come back? Why did he come back?
National security advisor.
Why did he come back? Why did they come back?
Because the Democrats fucked everything up. Joe Biden and Merrick Garland fucked everything up.
Okay, so then whose fault is that?
The Democrats.
Beautiful.
I'm agreeing with you. Merrick Garland. I blame two people.
How come unified Republicans?
I blame two people for Donald Trump. Merrick Garland and Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell should have voted to convict in 2021 to prevent him from ever running again. And Merrick Garland should have got off his ass and investigated him from day one and not outsourced it to Jack Smith with 1 year to go. And I just do want to come back to the Islam question.
Let's do it.
Muslims love America who live here. According to the polls, according to the Pew polls, 92% of Muslims in America say they love being American. So this is a myth that Muslims don't love America.
No.
And by the way,
I have Muslims who work for me. Right afterwards, come with me. I'll take them to them if you want to meet them.
So my point is, and their families are worried for their safety right now. Every Muslim in America I know.
I think they feel the safest in America.
Let's talk to you guys.
I think they feel the safest in America.
Every Muslim I know, Patrick, trust me on this. I spend a lot of time with Muslims. Every Muslim I know is worried about what they're going to do. They have a plan B. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go live? If it becomes intolerable.
Go ahead and leave America. How come they don't?
Because they love America.
That's the point. They feel the safest.
No, but it's changing, right?
But if
you don't think
12 years.
Hold on, the Jews feel the same way, Patrick. You know that, right? Jewish communities right now saying we don't feel safe in America. You know this. They're saying it every day. They're saying where synagogues are being attacked, we're being demonized. So Muslims feel the same way, especially when a mosque is attacked by two Nazis. Republicans can't even bring themselves to condemn it. Do you know that Ted Cruz wouldn't even condemn it?
We talked about it the day on media.
You did. I'm talking about Republican Congress.
I can't speak on their behalf, buddy. I'm not them.
No, good.
I'm speaking on my behalf. Whatever they do is their position.
But on your show too, Patrick, come on. You did a whole thing. I watched it of you obsessing over this Times Square prayer. Like this is some act of domination. Why are Muslims not allowed to pray in Times Square? Why are Jews allowed to do Hanukkah? Why is Jews allowed to do Hanukkah? Hindus do Diwali.
You know what my argument is against that? You know what my argument is against that? Guess what my argument is against that? You ready?
Go on.
It's going to go back to something you don't like.
Please.
You ready?
Go on.
Here we go. If Muslims do a better job expanding, they deserve everything they get.
But it's not expanding.
No, but it is. No, it is. It is though. If Muslims, I'm a capitalist to the core. Meaning, if you beat me, guess what I do? You got to tip your hat. I don't know if you follow basketball or not.
What if people aren't trying to beat? What if they just want to pray in Ramadan?
No, but they're visual. You want to go watch how many of the videos like, long term we're going to come America. Sure,
have you seen the Christian prayers at the National Mall? They're not the same.
No, you can't.
Have you seen? Are you kidding?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
You need to get out more. You're on the right wing algorithm too much. You watch Ilhan Omar videos and Times Square
at one point,
all day long.
You know, at one point I was sitting down with Muslims trying to find out what things we have in common. Okay? And literally, I was bringing Muslims to sit down and talk about it. You know why? Because to me, the LGBTQ, specifically on the T side, was getting a little too far. And I think deep down inside to the core, you're there, but you know you can't say it publicly because it's politics for you over what your religion believes in as a Muslim. What is the Muslim position on LGBTQ?
There is no one position. Islam is not a monolith, but yes, in general.
Oh, let me read it.
Hold on, let me finish.
Go for it.
Islam in general, obviously, I'm not an Islamic scholar, but Islam as traditionally practiced, like Christianity and Judaism as traditionally practiced, is very hostile to the idea of homosexuality.
Okay,
theologically.
we have that in common.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Pew polling. Let me give you some polls because you keep talking about Americans, this and that. So in 2017, Pew did a poll of Americans. of Americans, and they found that Muslim Americans
I have it.
were more likely to say 52%, I think it was, Muslim Americans said that homosexuality should be accepted in society. You know how many white evangelical Protestants said that? 34%. 34%.
Protestants was 34%.
34%.
I have that data.
So Muslims were more accepting of homosexuality.
Yep.
Rob, I love you, Rob. They were more accepting of homosexuality than white Christian evangelicals, right? So my question then is, when you talk about integration, assimilation, America is a liberal country. It's a pro-gay country, whether you like it or not. Muslims, and by the way, we ran a poll. We ran a poll this year. One last point, Patrick. We ran a poll earlier this year at Zateo from Opinion. They polled Muslims in the UK and the US. Guess what they found? Muslims in the UK and Muslims in the US support democracy more than non-Muslim Americans and non-Muslim Britons. Muslims in America and Britain support gender equality more than non-Muslim Britons and Americans.
May I
So for
repeat
your
that?
viewers, I just want to make clear, you've been lied to about Muslim attitudes. I'm giving you the numbers.
But let me ask you, what was your position a few years ago on homosexuality?
My position when growing up was very hostile. That's
Conservative, not hostile, probably very
hostile.
conservative.
It was hostile.
Okay, it was conservative. Okay, so if I go to
and I've talked about how I've evolved on that.
Okay, so if I go to some of the countries with homosexuality, 10 countries, homosexuality is a legal punishment in at least death penalties. Legal punishment in 10 countries: Afghanistan, Saudi, Iran, Pakistan, Yemen, Qatar, Somalia.
What's the point?
UAE, Nigeria. This is where they're coming from. Okay, so Iran and Saudi, the only two national confirmed to have carried out government-sanctioned executions for that. Horrific. Yeah. Not one Shia majority nation is for same-sex marriage. Iran criminalizes.
And yet Muslim Americans are.
Well,
interesting.
Not at the highest percentage as you. No, not at the highest percentage as you think. I think the part where
more than most Republicans.
The part where conservatives and Muslims, if you ask me, on why that Muslim vote went from 24% to 31% for Trump is because liberals got so caught in this LGBTQ community.
Part of it.
Let me finish the thought that I brought them here to sit down and talk and say, look, you have 2 daughters, I have 2 daughters, I have 2 sons, we have 4 kids. For me, this isn't a position of LGBTQ community or not. I don't have a problem with it. They work for me. I will literally take you to my office right now to meet some of these guys and give you a tour myself. So you meet some of my staff that I have. It's about the force that was down the throat of kids. It was forcing that we have to sit there and hear what LGBTQ is all about and all this stuff being taught by schools.
I'm not debating that had an impact. It had an impact, by the way, on Latino communities too.
It did.
There's a lot of
and they
Latino
went conservative. They don't like that.
Oh, by the way, so 2 things. One, I'm not denying that. I'm the one who brought it up and said it was partly LGBTQ. But it wasn't the big driver. The big driver was Gaza, right? And number 2.
Well, by the way, just respectfully, we're going to find out if you're right or I'm right in 2028.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? Because
but right now, what's interesting is, right now, as of right now, 2026, Trump has totally destroyed that coalition. He had a lot of Muslim support, not anymore. He had a lot of Latino support. It's collapsed. I know, we'll see the States. Well, we'll also know in the midterms. But yes, that coalition he seemed to have built, that scary coalition for those of us on the left, he's his own worst enemy, Donald Trump. With ICE, he destroyed his Latino support. With Iran, he supported a lot of it, and Israel he's destroyed a lot of his Muslim support. But I would make a wider point, which is, at the end of the day, and I say this to Muslim communities, you can't vote based just on religion or just on foreign policy. You cannot be single issue voters. As a Muslim American, you need to care about everything in America. You need to care about the economy. You need to care about healthcare. And I think most Muslim Americans do. And I think they make decisions. By the way, the big reason the Republican Party will not win over Muslims or Arab Americans in numbers is because of the racism, Patrick. Fundamentally.
That racism is BS.
What? You don't think Randy Fine's a racist?
Randy Fine's not my guy.
But he's a Republican in foreign.
No, he's to me.
You don't think Donald Trump is a racist?
Not at all.
When he says to Rashida Tlaib, you should go back to where you came from.
If you don't like America, go back.
She's born and raised in Michigan. That's racist.
Honestly, Mehdi, he's too educated for Patrick. Patrick, he's too dumb, bro. Honestly, his viewpoints, what I basically got from all this interview is that Patrick, he's a liar, and he says it out front. He says it for his view. He would lie because in his world, it's about domination. The guy who's strongest win. The guy who's weakest gotta lose and be a loser and get dominated and humiliated and all that kind of things. So that's the only thing I got from the whole video. That Patrick is a fucking low moral person. He has no morals, honestly. I would never sit with this kind of guy, ever. Honestly, I would only make him make money for me, slap him if he not get enough money, and that's it. I'm not saying people should do that or nothing like that, but I'm just saying I wouldn't hang around with this kind of person, because this kind of person, honestly, and this kind of person would not hang around with me because he would be afraid, honestly, because you cannot use this kind of guy in your circle. It is a waste of time. He's a liar. He says to you, I am a liar. If I get the upper hand on you, I would do anything to destroy you. And I'm going from the worldview. If you get the upper hand, you would try to destroy me. You know? This is not normal.
Racist, Patrick. When I grew up, you tell someone to go back to where they came from, you thought of it.
Listen, we're both from the
Somali's garbage.
Dude, we're both
racist.
You live in UK, I've lived in the Middle East, but we're both from the same area region. We are what a lot. If we walked in the streets and say we don't have a name, they will look at us in maybe a different way than they do the average guy. You're not a white guy, I'm not a white guy. Okay. When you're talking about all this stuff, you said Muslim people coming in here. I'll tell you another thing that is a concern of mine. I want to know what you're going to say about this. When it comes down to age for marriage in some of these countries, give your rebuttal. I'm curious. So if a person comes from a country, or like in Sudan, the minimum age for marriage is 10 years old. Are you for that? I don't think you are. In Iran, the legal age for marriage is 13 years old.
Okay.
As young as 9 with parental consent. Are you for that? I'm certain you're not, okay? And I'm not saying you're taking these positions. Yemen, no legal
What is your
minimum
point?
wage.
I don't know where you're going.
I'll ask you the question.
Okay, Patrick David, he wanna reflect on something else now. Then I think Patrick David, he should, rather than focus about that, he should focus about all the pedophilia in his country. It's in the West, pedophilia is rampant. Their men are traveling around the world to underdeveloped countries and doing all kinds of things. Maybe we should rather talk about that, which is more important. I'm not saying that the things, I don't know, Pakistan or wherever it was, Afghanistan, wherever it was, bruh, those laws, nah, bruh, that should not be legal, you know? But still, it's a dumb argument, bruh. He's not trying to solve anything. He's just trying to, you know, put some shit out there and just like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with free speech in America and all of that? Bruh, it's just full of baboonery, honestly. It's just baboonery, bruh. It's just idiocracy.
Yemen, no legal minimum age. 1/3 of women, 20 to 24.
And who the fuck supports that? Why the fuck is he even bringing it up? It doesn't make sense, bro. It's just...
Married before 18 years old. Iraq parliament in 2024 moved to allow age girls to marry.
And this is Islamophobia, propaganda, and now what? So what we gonna do with this information? What we can do?
As young as 9 years old under Jafari school law. Pakistan, 1.9 million child brides in Pakistan, sixth highest in the world, okay? By the way, the good news with that, I want to give that credit as well. Islamabad, capital territory, just changed the minimum age to 18. Good for them. They're making progress. Nigeria, over 50% of girls married before
What's
the age
the
of 15.
question, Patrick?
This is the question. Culturally, if you're coming from this environment to America, notice I didn't say every other country that's coming from Muslim. If you're coming from that culture to America, does that coincide? Because if you've lived there for 30, 40 years, and these are the values you've lived.
What the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? Listen, look up your own fucking Western laws, bro. And when things got changed and why... In America, some laws have still not been changed. So I don't know what Patrick David is talking about, because as far as I know, in some states, they got some fucked up laws.
Lived with. Okay. Then you're coming here, there's a
Patrick, shut the fuck up, bro.
clash with the Western ideology. What do you say to that?
I will say two things. Number one, all of the social sciences show that when people move to a country within a generation, max 2, they do assimilate to local values. And I just gave you the numbers for it. Muslims in America and Britain who come from dictatorships support democracy more than non-Muslim Americans in Britain. The percentages are there. American Muslims are more open to homosexuality and acceptability of homosexuality having lived in the US than white Christian evangelical Protestants. So the data shows that within generations, they do not, they do adapt or do assimilate, integrate, whatever. These are all loaded phrases. And by the way, Europe and America are different, by the way, don't forget. Europe is a very secular place. So when you're moving there, it's actually very different. America is actually more hospitable to Muslims coming from those places because we are still very much a Christian country with very conservative attitudes. It's funny, Rob's on duty, I hope still. I got a request for Rob here. You mentioned you're giving me these child bride ages. Rob, pull up American states. How many of the states in America had child marriages until very recently? What's the age of consent? What's the lowest age of consent in American states until very recently? So when you're already at 13, 14, 15, until very recently, American states, that's now. You can see there are states that until very recently was 12, 13, 14. So America maybe doesn't get to give so many lessons on some of these things. And by the way, what is the biggest scandal in this country right now? It's the pedophile who was protected by the President of the United States. Donald Trump not just...
I like Mehdi. I like this Mehdi. I like it. I like his way his brain works. He's fast, but he should be faster. He should connect more things together. I like Mehdi.
protected Jeffrey Epstein after lying and saying
There
he
are
would
so many
expose.
places I can go with that.
Please.
I won't.
He also gave Ghislaine Maxwell a soft ride in prison. He also was going to appoint Matt Gaetz, a man who was accused by the House Ethics Committee of sleeping with a 17-year-old. He was going to make him Attorney General.
Yeah.
So please don't give lessons to other people right now.
No, it's not- no,
John, not you personally, but anyone in America. Let's clean up our own house.
Mehdi, the question isn't about cleaning up our stuff.
Perfect.
God knows we have a lot of stuff to do. FYI, when people start talking about Epstein, I can guarantee you no conservative podcaster has spoken about Epstein more than us. I guarantee, just so you know, we're not one that they sit there and say, hey, we love because they're not going to talk about Epstein. Go online on YouTube when you leave here to just gain the credibility. Say,
We're talking about cultural clashes. That's the point. There's a clash of cultures. I'm saying there's not.
You and I are sitting here, we're talking. Can you and I coexist?
Yes.
Do you think you and I can live in the same community?
Yes.
Do you think you and I can live in the same...
you live in a much bigger house on a richer street.
What is this Patrick David talking about? So what is he representing? The rednecks down? I don't remember, where is it? Alabama, all of those places, the incestory, all of that. Bruh, Patrick, you're a fucking lying son of a bitch. Listen, everybody knows how America is, bruh. everybody. We know how your fucking states function. We know how the people are. We know the fucking construction of the people. We know how the difference are between the states. Stop fucking lying, bro.
You're a pretty rich guy, bro.
No,
You're a multi-millionaire, Doug. Like, don't act like you're a small
I read on the way here in a Spectator that you have a 75 grand a week house in the Hamptons. I can't get near that.
You believe this stuff? This is all fake news
true.
stuff that they
Not
tell you.
true.
You're so funny. Vinny, we have to make sure we don't post pictures this summer where we're staying at because Mehdi's going to be talking shit to us.
75 grand a week, well done.
Yeah. Where were we at? We were talking about, okay, you and I can coexist.
Yes.
Why?
And my parents are from India, which has a lot of backward things going on. A lot of child
you
marriage.
got a little bit of UK. You went to a good school. You went to Oxford.
Who made the school happen? My parents from India.
Your parents.
They paid for it. They worked hard for it.
But
So they
dad-
were immigrants.
it's an FYI, okay.
What if Patrick Bet David in the 1960s said my dad shouldn't
Do
come
you want me
because
to
he's
go
from
to
India?
a different place? Let me take you to this next place. You ready? Okay, let me go to the next place. What religious groups that come here make the most money in America?
No idea.
Yeah, of course you do. Hinduism, number one. 166,000.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, great
you know that number. Yeah, great community.
Now being attacked by right-wing Republicans. in
Not
Texas.
me.
No, I didn't say you. It's
Again,
right-wing
I'm
Republicans.
telling you my
in Texas.
position. I know, and I have some. By the way, I have guys that are working here that say that. That's their position. But we
why
can
the
sit and
Republican
go-
Party's racist and you shouldn't.
No, we sit and we debate because we think that's the right way to do it. Because your book is called what?
Yeah,
Win the
debate.
Art of
Good
Debating
faith
Argument.
debate, not
Put the
faith.
link below, Rob, so if people want to go support the book, they have it. Watch this. Hinduism, 166, $200,000. Pretty good. It's contributing to society, right?
I'm a great admirer of the Hindu community.
Judaism, you're supporting of them? $115,000. You think they're net positive for America?
Yes.
Okay. Protestants, 82,500. Orthodox Christians, 78. Catholicism, 74. Islam, 68. Right? Atheists are 85. Okay, they're making $85,000. And then you got Buddhism. Man, that's a bad shout out to Buddhists. You guys got to figure out a way to make money, guys. This is like serious stuff right there. They pray a lot. Yes. So to me, this isn't about skin color or racism. Like when I meet Indians in America, I got to tell you, the ones I've met, they love America. They actually love living
I
here.
get what you're saying, Patrick, but and this is a slight problem because you say I'm not speaking for a Republican Party, but you are in the right-wing media space. There's no debate.
What the fuck were those stupid numbers? Those numbers were totally bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit, man. I know fucking Muslims over there living fucking good, making huge money, bruh. This guy don't know what the fuck he talking about. Those numbers are fake, bruh. The Christians in America are living like shit, bruh. Everybody fucking telling me that shit, bruh. They're talking like they don't get money, bruh. Listen, shut the fuck up. All the people I know who are Muslims in the States at least got $50,000 stacked. What the fuck is this guy talking? This guy's a fucking liar. That fucking paper is fucking bullshit paper. You can fucking wipe your ass with that paper.
Debate about
I'm not
that.
debating that.
Yeah, but you're an immigrant from Iran who came in as a refugee.
I have a slightly different view than
Exactly.
they do, yeah.
Exactly. So when you say Hinduism, great. Okay, go tell the Texas Republican Party. Go tell conservatives in Texas.
You know
do
why-
you know, let me finish my point. All these Hindus in Texas, well-off Hindus, they supported Trump and MAGA. And guess what? They're trying to build a temple in Houston, and people are protesting outside, saying, take this demonic religion outside.
Yeah.
I'm no fan of Vivek Ramaswamy, right? I've interviewed him. We had a great clash, but I do admire him as a smart guy. He succeeded in life. He's super patriotic. He's very eloquent. He's running for governor of Ohio. Did you see the clip the other day? Guy stands up in the crowd. Groiper guy stands up, says, Hinduism is a pagan, demonic religion. Why should we have you lead us? This is what the Republican Party, for you to say they're not a racist party, when I'm seeing what they're doing to Vivek Ramaswamy, forget Muslims, what they're doing to Hindus in Texas, what they're doing to Hindus in Ohio. This is a white supremacist
Racist.
party.
This is
Yes.
white supremacist.
What's your definition of racism? Is nobody racist?
No one. I think.
What's your definition of racist, Patrick?
May I finish?
Please.
You're raising your voice. Why are you screaming? I'm
I know,
sitting right
what
across
up?
from you,
What
bro.
up?
Like, let's act American, not Middle
Who
Eastern.
shouted out?
Because honestly, I understand this guy Mehdi why he's raising his voice, because he's sitting and trying to debate a person who's not intellectually on his level. And honestly, I would get annoyed. Honestly, if it was me, I would tell him to shut the fuck up and go get me a fucking Red Bull or coffee. And I would take over that shit, bro. And I would get my guys to fucking escort everybody out. But yeah, that's just me. I'm different, bro. But Mehdi, he seems very tolerant. But honestly, 2.5 hours of listening to fucking idiocracy, bro. That gotta be some kind of new fucking torture, bro.
Earlier, but
I
yes,
know,
the Middle East.
fair enough. Okay. So to me, I think a part of it is, I think everybody has a little bit of bigotry in them. Okay. Everybody. And I know it's going to sound like, what are you talking about? I think everybody is a little bit against some community. By the way, it could be.
That's the funny thing. Now he's reflecting again. He's saying everybody, but he means himself. That is how he think.
As simple as, you're a Red Sox fan, I'm a Yankees fan, I can't stand you. There's no way we can coexist.
Agreed.
It could be you're from Boston, I'm from New York.
Tribalism. People are tribal.
By the way, that's natural.
Agreed.
That's not like, you were a kid, you were part of a gang, you're part of another gang. Okay, we're going to,
That's fucking not natural. To give a fuck about a fucking team. Are you fucking dumb? How fucking retarded is that? How is it fucking natural to fucking give a shit about sports and fucking shit that doesn't even fucking improve your life at any fucking moment? In sorts, yeah, you're fucking gonna have some entertainment, but so what, bruh? So what the fuck? Honestly, Patrick David, IQ, very low. Very, very fucking low.
attacking a religious minority is not.
So that's that part. The other side is Colin. Like if there's one thing, like I brought the what do you call it, Westmore that we're speaking to, and I'm like, you realize like for Democrats, why did they lose so much of their support during this period? Let me finish, and you can argue and say we didn't. I think some of the positions they took in COVID was out of control. I think some of the positions they took with LGBTQ, to me, was out of control. Calling everybody racist, a little too much. Calling everybody a bigot, a little too much. Making everybody feel like I'm a bad person.
You need to read the book, my friend. These are all straw men. Calling everybody a racist. I was very specific. I said Randy Fine's a racist. I said Donald Trump's a racist. I said the Republican Party's indulged racism and white supremacy. I can stand by those with receipts.
The Republican Party they're racist.
If a party institutionally allows for racists to take power and do racist policies, what should I call it?
Oh my God.
Okay, let me give you one. Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now,
Yeah.
when you came to America, you came in 1990?
Yep.
In 1990, I checked before I came in. George Bush Sr. was president.
Yes.
And he allowed in 122,000 refugees, of which 4% were from the Middle East. So you and your family, how many came from your family, if you don't mind me asking?
Me, my mom, my dad, my sister, four.
The four of you.
Well, my dad came in '84 because my parents got a divorce, and then he came back in 1990 separately.
Okay, so three of you came on that
We did, yeah. We went to Germany. From Germany, we came.
I read the story. You came in 1990, so you're part of the lucky 5,000 people from the Middle East.
I feel like I'm the luckiest man alive living in America.
Okay, and that was George Bush Sr. I'm not a man I'm fan of, but he did that.
Sure.
He understood the response,
Yep.
as did Reagan.
Yep.
You know Donald Trump since October has allowed in 6,069 refugees, not 122,000, only 6,069. And do you know that 6,066, 99.9% of them are from white South Africa? Only 3 are Afghan. Dude, that's the numbers.
Are you serious?
That's a fact.
Okay, you're serious.
Pull it up, Rob. 6,000 refugees. All of them are white South Africans fleeing from an imaginary
The previous guy brought more people than 4 presidents combined.
Hold on, he brought in 125,000.
He's trying to say, guys, time out. Let's get jobs for our people.
No, it's about refugees. Refugees are different. It's not about jobs. Refugees are international obligations.
Like you're talking H-1B, green card, which one are you talking about?
Refugees, vetted by, the vetted program.
Sure.
Where you're vetted abroad. You check you're not a terrorist, all of that stuff.
That's
What
what
happened to you?
Yes, 18
Biden did it
months
too. He allowed 125,000 people. He upped the cap.
Okay.
Trump dropped the cap with Stephen Miller to 7,500.
Okay.
And since October, he allowed in 6,069, according to the
I
Washington
want to know
Post.
where you're going with this.
He allowed in only 3 Afghans and 6,066 white people from South Africa. There are 2 things I would say about that. Number one, that's racist. You let it 99.9% of your refugees are white people who are not refugees, and you don't allow people from Iran, Iraq, Syria. The second point is, Donald Trump would allowed you into this country, and yet you sit and support. You voted for him 3 times. Donald Trump would not have allowed little Patrick Bet David into this country. How do you feel about that?
You're so funny.
A genuine question.
You are so funny.
It's a genuine question.
He wouldn't have let little Patrick.
It's true. It's true. It's fucking true.
No Iranians were allowed in this year. So how would you have gotten?
You know what would have happened? We would have waited 1 more year, 2 more years
For a Democrat to come and let you in.
Bush Senior let us in. He was a Republican.
for a better Republican. Okay, for a better Republican.
No, but that's
A non-racist
that's not the point.
Republican.
The part
That is the point. He did not allow in Iranians,
Issues,
Iraqis.
Mehdi, is it fair to say issues are fluid? Things change. Meaning,
No, refugees are an obligation that America has always stuck to until Donald Trump.
what is an issue in 2020 maybe different than what's a top 3 issue in 2016 and 2012 and 2000?
Plenty.
Right. Guess what? What did his base want?
Who cares what his base wants?
That's who we voted for.
That's a different argument. You're moving. What about is he racist? I'm giving my evidence. He stopped all refugees from coming in from what do you call them? Shithole countries. Itself a racist phrase. And then he allowed in white people.
Would you
from South
disagree
Africa.
with some of these places are shithole countries?
I don't think you call entire countries shithole.
You don't think some places
you're
are shithole-
generalizing about entire places.
You think some places are not
What's your
shithole countries?
definition of racism, Patrick? Because you don't seem to think anything's racist.
Honestly, America is a shithole country.
What do you define as racist? If you say there's no such thing as racism, fine, but be consistent.
No, I don't know.
And nobody's a racist.
No, I don't know if. I think it's a weak argument. I think it's a weak position to say, hey, that guy doesn't like me and my race and where
Great,
I'm
but
from.
what is your definition of racism? If you don't have one, say so.
To be honest with you, if you want
I
this,
think if you call an entire country, entire people, shit,
think
garbage, low IQ, that's racist.
Mehdi,
That's
I think
Somalis.
every single person has an element of racism in there.
That's a
from
different
1% to 99%.
You're moving a goalpost.
But you're asking racism. It's like not liking an ethnicity, not liking a community.
Yeah, not liking an entire
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, if he says we're going to have white people in and not shithole country people in, that's racist. Yes, I think that's racist. That's not racist. I don't know what it is. 99.9% of refugees are white South Africans. Come on.
You want to? Okay, Rob, can you do me a favor?
He calls
Can you-
all
can you
Somalis
do me a
low
favor?
IQ
Can you do me
and
a favor?
garbage.
Like, this is the
That's
stuff
racist.
that you're saying right now.
It's all true.
Can you pull up Biden's administration? Who was the guy that was the transgender that we're supposed
That's
to
what
leave?
you're going to? When I quote the president making racist remarks, you got no comeback?
Wait a minute. What's the argument of DI with you that massively failed? Are you supportive of DI?
I don't know what's your definition.
Are you
of DEI?
supportive of DEI?
I don't play, this is not right-wing bingo.
No,
Your words mean
are
nothing
you
to me.
support?
I'm from outside the right-wing media chamber.
I talk to
DEI is
guys-
meaningless.
Guy, I talk to guys on the left-wing side. Like, who do you think I talk to? You think I just talk to right-wing people?
No, but the way you say DEI and the transgender guy from Biden and Ilhan Omar, this is like right-wing
is this a
bingo.
good pick? Is this a good pick?
Yeah, Rachel Levine, I interviewed her on my show.
Was he phenomenal at what he did?
I'm sure she was very good at her job.
So you think
What's that got to do with Trump being racist towards Somalis?
You think
Patrick, you need to read the book.
Wait a minute.
Because in the book I deal with people like you.
This is what you
pure
do for a living.
deflection.
The difference with
you are
me is
deflecting.
this is not
Donald Trump
deflecting,
says all Somalis are garbage,
Man,
low IQ people.
allow
Is that a racist statement?
allow this to come
Come on,
to
Rachel Levine.
Do you think
I'm gonna answer your question.
do you
You
think
answer
this person was hired because they were the best person for a job or because he was playing politics?
Well, Rob,
that's a form of racism.
Rob, I'm going to read the second paragraph.
Go ahead.
Levine is a professor of pediatrics and psychiatry at Penn State College of Medicine. Previously served as a Pennsylvania physician general. So I think Rachel Levine is more qualified to work in the health department than
Right.
Robert fucking Kennedy Jr.,
Got it.
who
So
has
this-
zero qualifications.
so-
Do you think RFK was hired for his medical
so you
qualifications?
think-
No, Patrick, do you think RFK Jr. was hired for his medical qualifications? What do you have?
By the way, do you know how many people previous to him were
Do you know-
doctors?
Do you know, was RFK hired for his medical
Yeah.
credentials? Yes or no?
RFK was hired because he was making the
Whereas Rachel
arguments.
Levine is a professor of pediatrics.
No, wait a minute, but you're saying RFK is not qualified
Not
for his
to be
job.
health secretary, no.
By a
Conspiracy theory.
mile, I think
Conspiracy theorist who doesn't even
you
understand
take a
basic medicine.
transgender to be this job than a.
You think transgender people don't have intelligence?
No,
Is that a new attack on
no, see what you're doing
just
now.
went- you just
But you
went-
see what
you
you're
take
doing
a
now.
transgender person.
You're
What does that
playing.
Bro, this is so intellectually so retarded. Honestly, Patrick David, he's making a fool out of himself, bro. Honestly, he's making a fucking mockery out of himself. This is too retarded, honestly.
And see the difference.
So are
between
you.
I, no, I didn't go to
Patrick,
Oxford and do
Patrick,
debate 24/7
I
to see
gave
this
you
as my
hard
life.
evidence
No.
of Trump's racism, and you said, Rob, pull up transgender woman. That's what happened. Everyone watched you do it.
But
I said Trump allowed in 99%
the point
white
is,
people.
It's so fucking hilarious.
The
You've got
point
no
is, the
response.
previous guy picked people because of color. If there is any party that's
I'm not even asking
racist,
about that.
was the previous guy
I'm not
because they
even
kept
asking
saying
about that.
black this,
I'm not even
black
asking
that,
about that.
black this many female,
not
this
even
many
asking
trans.
Trump to the same.
The left is the
What's wrong with Pete Patrick Davis? Is he fucking having a meltdown or something? I don't understand it. Like, he's fucking obsessed with trans, bruh. Fucking go bang a trans, bro. If you're fucking obsessed, bro, get it out of your system, bro. Fuck, bro. What's wrong, bro? He's so curious that he's dying, bro, to talk about him.
the party of the racists.
Even if I
you say-
concede that, it's irrelevant to my point that Donald Trump has blocked refugees like yourself. Patrick Bet David would not have been allowed into
I would
America
find a way to get
under
it.
Donald
You don't
Trump.
know me
You would have
well.
come in illegally.
I would
You're
come here.
pro-illegal immigration.
You're so
This
funny.
is so interesting
I would have
today.
made it here,
Pat, you heard it here.
illegally.
You're going to clip Ilhan
I
Omar,
would've
clip
made it
that.
illegally.
Patrick Bet David said if he
Post-
wasn't allowed
post
in
it up, have
illegally,
fun with it.
he would come in illegally.
The difference
You heard
between
it.
you and I, this doesn't bother me. I understand the game we're
That's why I'm
playing. I
here.
understand the conversation.
I'm not here for a
we're having.
game. I just said to you earlier, this stuff has real world consequences.
Oh, this
Three
stuff has-
Muslim
He's retarded, bro. Honestly, Patrick, he's retarded. He thinks it's a game, bro. He don't understand, bro. We don't work. We don't play games. It's all about facts. It's about fact. What's not factual, what is factual. What's real, what's not real.
Real
just
world
got killed.
consequences.
Three
This-
Muslims just
this-
got
this
killed
stuff has real
in a
world
mosque
consequences.
in San
Just so you know
Diego because Republican Party racist rhetoric. And do you know what? Republican congressmen couldn't even condemn it. I assume you condemn what happened in San Diego.
We
obviously.
100% condemned it.
Do you know Republicans wouldn't do it until they were forced to do it? Brandon Gill was asked on the congressional
speak on
corridor.
their behalf.
I'm not asking you to speak.
I
I'm
can't
telling
speak
you
on their
it's
behalf.
bad, right? That what they did, not
But
condemn
do you realize you think it's also bad that everything we had to hear in 2022 with Biden getting elected was about how many black female candidate leadership team we're going to have?
Diversity is a
Who
good
cares?
thing.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it's
it
based on leadership. When he was president, we're going to find a way to have
Well-
this percentage. Let me finish. This percentage of pilots got to be female and black. And by the way, Hollywood. You want to go to Hollywood? What standards they created? Do you remember the Hollywood standard? In order to win an Oscar,
That's not true. That's
Can you
bullshit.
please
It's
pull
been
that?
debunked. The whole-
Can you pull
you're
that up,
just parroting
please?
Elon Musk's
Christopher
propaganda.
Nolan's-
Your part, this has been debunked a million
Okay,
times.
let-
A million times.
what time
And
are we
by the
at
way,
right now?
I got a flight to catch soon.
That's what I'm
but this
saying.
is an important conversation because I need you to concede that
0.9%
99.9% white refugees from South Africa is a racist refugee policy.
Zero. I got
Not
a
allowing
different
people
flight.
in from Afghanistan and Syria.
Next
is
time you
insane.
come in, don't book a flight afterwards so we can go 4 hours because I'm enjoying this.
Next time you're coming on my show, we all heard you agree to my invitation. I hereby invite Patrick Bet David. You can bring Rob with him if you need support. Bring Rob.
4 hours, bro. I couldn't, bro. 4 hours. At least Patrick David, he should have a couple of people helping him. For 4 hours, bro. I don't know even what the fucking is to talk about after this fucking conversation. What the fuck would they speak about for 4 hours next time? It doesn't make sense, bro. It would be a fucking waste of time, bro. Pete Patrick David worldview, it's so fucking retarded. Bro, I can't. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Honestly, it's crazy.
Rob with you.
It's dumb. It's primal. It's so primal for the way he's connecting his thoughts and the way he's thinking. This guy Pete Patrick David, it's like a primal animal, you know. Ooh, I'm gorilla. I'm big bad. I hit you in the head. Now I am boss. Ooh. And when you hit me in the head and I don't fight back, you boss. What the fuck, bruh? That's an animalistic fucking worldview
So funny.
But we'll have you.
and way of acting.
You
We'll
want
have a
to
good
say
time. Let me wrap it up with some one-word answers, and then let's go from there. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Since you already brought him up, I'll bring it up. So I'll give you a name.
Oh, Rob has just proven me right, by the way. 2 of 4 DEI standards. You don't have to. It's not something you have to tick some boxes.
What do you mean 2 or 4 DI standards?
Pull up the standard.
Yeah, you have to have 2 or 4 DI. They even said you have to have a underrepresented racial ethnic groups and ensemble cast of at least 30% represent from 2 underrepresented. Some of them even disability.
First of all, diversity is a good thing, especially on
stop
screen.
it.
I know you don't like that. And it's a bad
Stop
word.
it.
D
No.
word is a bad word.
You know-
Your people are like
you know-
clutching their
you know
pearls.
why
right
you're
now.
here? You know why you're-
all the
you know why I'm
value
talking to
viewers are
you?
clutching
You know
their
why I'm
pearls
talking
because
to
Mehdi
you?
said diversity.
Do you
on
know
the
why I'm
right-wing
talking
podcast.
to you? Do you know why I'm talking to
Because
you?
you needed to hear from me. that You wouldn't be allowed into America.
You know why?
Trump was president.
You know why I'm
you would have
talking
to come
to
in
you?
illegally. That's
Mehdi, do your
I like
shtick.
this
I'll let you finish, and then I'll say. Do you know why I'm talking to you? Why do you think I'm talking to you?
Please tell me.
Because you're good at what you do.
I appreciate that.
That's why you're here.
I appreciate that.
Imagine if I said, "Hey, Rob, moving forward, listen, we need 3 disabled, 2 black,
That's not
4
what
gay,
Elon
5
does.
this."
I know you need to tell your
Stop.
audience.
No, I'm
That's
not
not what
doing.
happens. In fact, the person who does that is Hegseth right now. He's literally blocking black women and women from becoming generals and
you are
admirals.
so obsessed with Trump, just ask him for a job, bro. Just go and say, "Can I be part of this freaking cabinet?"
He wouldn't give it to
I'm
you because I'm
almost
brown.
thinking. I'm almost thinking you are so obsessed. It's like that, you know.
Bruh, even Patrick knows he's racist and fucking start laughing, bruh. God damn.
These girls that are so in love with somebody secretly, it's like this infatuated.
I love that's the only
Can I,
argument you
can
had.
I go? Can I? No, you lost
Please,
this one, but
please.
it's okay.
No, I didn't, because
I will-
technically you wouldn't be sitting here if Trump was president.
Mehdi,
Already agreed.
I'm going to sell your book like no one's ever sold
I
your
love
book.
it. You are a
I'm
great
going to tell him,
salesman.
go buy this book.
I want to say
Okay.
something nice about
By
it.
the
I'm
way-
going to say you're a great salesman. Go for it.
By the way, the biggest part about this thing is I am so proud. I am so proud that we converted another socialist into capitalist. That is probably
Yeah. Nah, I wouldn't call it great salesman, but he's a snake.
You didn't
proudest
do that.
moment to
I did
somebody
that on my
like
own.
you did, and I give you credit. I'm so proud of you that you're
Out of
publicly
business.
now a capitalist and you're creating jobs.
You can be a capitalist and social.
Can we do the one-word answers, please? All right. Tommy Robinson,
Bigot.
Nigel Farage,
Overrated.
Sadiq Khan,
Underrated.
Ilhan Omar,
Patriot.
AOC.
Presidential.
Interesting. JD Vance,
Fraud.
Marco Rubio,
Little.
Little.
Trump. Little Marco.
Okay, I got you.
I spoke my man, Trump.
I respect. Newsom. Although Marco Rubio could be a president, by the way. Newsom.
Slick.
Interesting. Musk.
Idiot.
Bezos.
Spineless.
Spineless.
Spineless. What's the
Yeah.
point of having fuck you money if you never say fuck you? Just rolled over for Trump.
You just want him
he,
to-
doesn't, he doesn't like Trump. I prefer the people who love Trump. You know, I prefer the true believers.
Yeah.
These people who just hate Trump privately
Yeah.
but roll over for him,
Yeah.
can't stand them.
Spencer Pratt.
Pratt.
Joe Rogan.
Enigma.
Enigma.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of him. Sometimes I'm like interesting. Sometimes I'm what an idiot.
Have you guys ever done anything?
No,
or
I've never done anything.
Well, you would do it though.
Would I go on Joe Rogan's show? There's a time when I said 100% yes. Now, maybe. I've come on PBD.
Yeah. Why
I wanna
did you-
reach new audience.
Why did you say you wouldn't go? You said to Bassam you wouldn't go on a bunch of different podcasts.
Yeah, I didn't say I wouldn't.
Did
I
it
said I
change?
struggle. Like Fox. I don't go on Fox. I don't go on Fox. Maybe I should change everything. I've tried to have a hygiene rule. I talk about it in the book. Maybe I've just abandoned
I
my
think you
hygiene
should
rules.
go everywhere. I think you should.
It's a
go
tricky
everywhere.
argument. There's pros and cons.
Do you know why?
There's pros and cons.
What's the con?
The cons are platforming people who don't deserve the legitimacy of mainstream platforms.
Okay,
It's a
so
real.
you're such a big deal. Like we should go to all these other places because.
So like if I go on Fox, I'm basically telling people that's a legitimate news organization. I believe it's a legitimate news organization. It's a propaganda channel.
All right. Okay.
I don't want to be part of
Bibi.
criminal.
Biden.
Criminal.
Hillary Clinton.
Annoying.
I'll finish with that one. So we'll finish with Hillary Clinton. She got a lot of credit, folks. This was a good conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Go order his book. Win the art of debating every
That's a horrible
argument.
cover.
Win every argument.
I love that
you
cover,
saw.
but it can be misread. Win every argument, the art of debating, persuading, public speaking.
We'll put the link
I've
below.
even persuaded Patrick today that
Mehdi,
he needed to be an illegal
truly,
immigrant to get into
I
Trump America.
enjoy talking to you. I appreciate you for coming
appreciate
out.
you having me on.
Time.
Thank you for
Thank you, brother. Yes. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort.
I don't know. Pete Patrick David, his intelligence are not good enough. Mehdi was too smart, bruh. Honestly, bruh. It was like trying to talk. It was like fucking listening to a fucking professor talking to a child. Pretty much. Pretty much. That's it, honestly. Mehdi, good points. Patrick, fucking retarded points. Pretty much. Pretty much like always. So, see you guys next time. It was a long one. Fuck, man. 2.5 hours. God damn, bro. I gotta make it right.